Late Night Grin. Also, what does that name mean?
We're back, folks. Late Night Grin immediately popped by a comment I will not reference here on the screen. We're back, all in, ahead of us. What we at now? Like 36 hours away, maybe, or something like that? I'm not a mathematician. Feels about right. Either way, it's fast approaching. Biggest show of AEW's. Thank you, man. Biggest show of AEW's year. 50,000 people. Awaiting them at Wembley Stadium, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, things of that nature. And we have some fresh faces. We have some youth. We have an interesting starting five. We have an expert, Pat. Well, I don't know about that. We're going to try. We're talking about AEW, folks. We hope everyone is well. Young Dukes, how are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you, Joe?
I'm fabulous. I always appreciate you asking, especially on a glorious Friday night such as this. I'm very excited tonight. Confirm Shoot knows why.
Von Erichs.
Close. New 3-hour Loki interview dropped, guys. So you're lucky I'm even here to see. I was just in the midst of him talking about when he was shot on in the season finale of NXT Season 2 and apparently double leg takedown Titus O'Neil. So I have a lot of research to do. And he hasn't even talked about other things I could research yet, but I'll talk to Manny about that another time. Novi, how are you this evening?
I'm doing fantastic. I got a tweet off earlier today that British breakfast is actually it looks pretty good.
Oh, I disagree with that too. Yeah,
but the Spoon's breakfast, very bad. Most other breakfasts, I could get down with it.
Okay, well, that was a bad tweet. The worst tweet you did today, which we'll get into, was your already preemptively, branding yourself as like the Hangman Defense League.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time for that anymore, dude. That's like last month's talking point. This is American Dragon country. We're locked in here. It's a national holiday coming up here. Very excited. We're going to get into it. We'll get into it. But prepare yourselves for that, folks. It could get heated. Confirm Shoot, you're known for getting preheated. I'll tell you who's not heated, though. All Elite Wrestling.
End the show. We're done.
I'm kidding. But how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous. I'm absolutely fabulous.
I just watched the Von Erichs wrestle from Dallas. They wrestled the Outrunners. Tough little team. They got like 11 minutes for some reason. Fun little match.
Was Roddy and Fuego any fun? Was that like a last squash?
Roddy beat the shit out of him. Fucking rolled.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch that one because I looked at that. I thought that looks like a proper squash match.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. That was the last show at the East Auditorium, right? For now.
Correct. It was like I forgot that was going to happen. So it was like a nice little
like a treat.
They had already taped that, so
bonus feature.
It was also they did a really cool opening match where Roddy was on commentary and you could barely hear him the entire time. That was a good bit.
Shivani talked on his pod about so the way the setup is for him is he'll have what's the gentleman's name who produces AEW now? Mike
Mansouri.
Mike Mansouri will it be in one ear, and Tony Khan, who he runs AEW, he's in the other ear. But at the East Auditorium, because of the facilities, they're both in the same ear. So Mike would be counting him down, and Tony would be yelling about like hologram. It sounds like a nightmare, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think that explains just that one story gives some, I think, some insight as to some of the sound elements that we run into at that wonderful building. It was a great building, though.
It was, yes.
Great time.
Had a crowd that actually reacted. Speaking of temperatures,
Come on.
Yeah. That's been 2 AEW shows that aired this week that had crowds that actually wanted to watch the AEW show.
Dude, Cardiff. I know I've been talking about it for months now. How great is that building? Is that like the perfect wrestling building?
That ruled.
Everyone has a great sight line, it's right on top of the action. Oh, it's awesome, dude. Absolutely awesome. Kaden Lee of the Performance Center. We have a lot to ask you. This could turn into an interrogation swiftly.
Okay.
So, Kaden Lee is, I guess, you're still a young grappler, right? Finding your way. You're not a young lion. I respect you more than that. But you're basically, hip toss, drop kick. Dukes, you've graduated. There's no young lions now. I'm asking questions here. Now,
I would say I'm TNA Yuya Uemura.
All right, so then does that make me Joe Hendry?
Well, yeah.
Joe Hendry even now. Okay, so tell the people what you're up to these days, because you're part of what I'm told is it's wrestling media. I think is what you guys are calling it now.
I'm part of, the famed, infamous wrestling media. I don't know honestly what I do. I am sitting in front of me with 2 contracts though.
Okay.
And I would like the people to understand, to know what my situation is. I think you need to see my contracts. I have 2 dual contracts right here. One with
Oh my god.
WrestlePyrrhic and one with Fightful. But you know what? Like I said, these contracts are not ironclad.
He's scrubbing them out here.
X,
Wow.
they are now void. Because I drew X's, the contracts are void.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
My goodness. So does that mean that you're intending to get a contract here? Because I don't know if we offered that to you necessarily. Are you just calling out? You just declining any kind of contract?
Bob's still typing it up.
I am looking for money. I want payday. Just like my good friend Stephanie Vakir. I worked with her agents to get where I am today, and I want my payday. That's what I'm here for.
So you have come on the Late Night Grin to do a bit in which you have left Fightful and Wrestle Purists to try and make money. It's like going to
He's doing the
WCW.
whole thing, bro.
It's like going to WCW and saying woo and doing chops, dude. Like fucking Terry Taylor over there. All right, okay, I see how it is. Fine. Not everyone can be innovators in this game, but I respect it.
TNA once paid Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows $500,000.
Well, okay. Well, let's not put our friend's business out there. Oh, if it was that. Well, maybe. Anyway, Dukes, what do you think about the Good Brothers contracts today?
They're good.
Oh,
I have no idea what he said.
Am I gone?
I think
you were
you're
for
back.
a second there. Yeah, you're back now.
My StreamYard's telling me I'm gone.
You're still here.
You're here.
Okay. Should we give the Good Brothers $500,000 to do the Late Night Grin every week?
Yeah, we can all, if everyone chips in.
LNG Bob, I mean.
Wow.
Yeah, I should be back now. Okay.
Joe?
So we're going to talk about we're going to talk about wrestling tonight, which is something we all like a lot. And what we're going to do is, folks.
Poor timing on that. That was disappointing on my part.
So that's all right, mate. It happens, but
Yeah.
So
Dukes
what
just
we're
went out
going
of
to do
focus. Look at Dukes.
I saw
He's
that.
blurry over there.
It happens. We're all
It's
a
an
bit rusty.
improvement, honestly.
Oh, come on now. Why have I broke
I like your
the stream? It's a nice
Dukes
hat.
just tried to cook me, but you couldn't hear what he said and made it even
I
funnier.
couldn't. I think he said he likes your hat.
Good call.
Which
yeah.
to the audience is merely a compliment. StreamYard just told me we have 0 people watching, which I didn't think Caden's bit was that bad.
Yeah.
I have to say, you immediately introducing physical props is a great indication that you will fit on this program. That's a very good sign. We were at our best when Bob would frequently put that big Randy Savage hat on his head. And he would always have it just within reach. Do you remember? He would just sort of. It was a good time in the industry. But nonetheless, what we're going to do here tonight, folks, a little bit of a novel. No.
Who?
A little bit of a novel concept. And I don't think Caden's going to be familiar with this coming from wrestling media. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the pay-per-view card that AEW doing this weekend. And I think we're going to go kind of match by match, and we're going to predict the matches. But we're also going to give some takes about the build, how good the match will be, what we think of the match, so on and so forth. And by the end of it, we'll have a lot of predictions, in the band. Everyone can note them down, and then they can live tweet All In, oh my God, Shoot got another one, that kind of deal. So I don't think they do that in wrestling media, but we're going to do it here tonight. Pay-per-view preview. We're very excited. Speaking of such, I'm not going to call it a temperature check, but I do want to see how everyone's feeling before the All In. Young Dukes, are you excited about AEW returning to Wembley Stadium?
I am. I haven't been watching everything from AEW like I used to, but I'm kind of back. I'm half back.
Half back. So how much of this is Hangman related? This in and out relationship.
That's what got me back in, actually,
Yeah.
when I was fully out. When he came back, I was like, all right, it's time,
Okay.
But then I'm kind of just
I'm
latching onto Bryan now.
Good
How
man.
big a thing in kind of getting you back in was the MJF and the America? Because I know for you that meant a lot, right? To see him kind of fly the flag like that.
Next question, please.
All right, Novi, are you excited for the All Elite Wrestling at Wembley Stadium?
I am excited. I thought, judging by Duke's statement there, that I was going to be in a 2v3 instead, but he kind of swerved that at the end, so that's very unfortunate. But the build has been a lot better, so I'm a lot more excited because of it.
Yeah, it is very, very good. I agree. I'm with you. Kaden, where's the hype at for All In?
I am actually pretty excited. I've been a little bit more down on AEW for the past few months. Not
you too? Fuck.
I think it's everybody, honestly. But the last, I don't know what it is. It's All In week. I've been a little bit excited for the last 7 days or so. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the buzz. I almost went.
Yeah. Wow, really? My goodness. I kid, but I actually think the sentiment around the show is very positive. I think most people agree they've done a really good job of the build. I think most people like the lineup. And I also think for all the discourse about houses and such, it's going to be 50,000 people at Wembley Stadium. They're it's going to be awesome. So, yeah, I think mostly people are positive. Confirm Shoot. How positive are you?
That's tough to gauge, Joe.
I've heard cricket? That, yeah. It is a cricket. It's alarming.
Sounds like Collision. Anyway.
Oh, no,
nice.
You just said that those crowds were good. No. You should have said Rampage.
That's true. Well, that was, yeah. Anyway, I'm
He was an outlier.
Yeah. I'm very excited for All In. I didn't get to watch it live last year. So I get to do that this year. That's exciting. I won't spend All In wondering what happened with a fight backstage that I found out about before I watched the show. Actually, that's not true. That I can't guarantee that won't happen. There's a couple possibilities there. But yeah, all bits aside, I'm pretty fired up for this. I think hilariously, despite all my bits about, no one going to their shows anymore and no one caring anymore, I actually do think they have a little bit of momentum. I think they've done a better job lately of presenting themselves as a big deal. I think that's always been an issue for them. They kind of get that underdog mentality in it, and they undercut themselves at times. They've done a good job of presenting All In as being a massive event and of them being an important promotion that is presenting this event. I'm really bad about, forgetting things, but off the top of my head, I'd say this might be their best built show they've ever done.
It's up there, I think, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting. I think the card's really good. I'm not sure it's better than last year's, but when you factor in the build, I think it is better. Overall presentation.
I think it's quite. I honestly do think it's quite a bit stronger. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
the big things we're actually going to like the main event.
Well, the real big thing. I was talking to our friend SP3 about this earlier over at True Hill Heat. The women's division we've talked this year about the growth of the women's division, but the reality is shows like this are where you're most going to learn, right, how far it's come. And look at this year's, last year there was, I could be wrong, folks, I apologize if I'm forgetting, but there was one women's title match last year, right? There was no TBS. It was just the Fatal 4-Way, which was thrown together in Jamie's absence and, of course, had an infamous finish. This year, I think you could argue the women's division has, in one match, the strongest build on the show. And whatever you think about Britt and Mercedes, I mean, there is certainly an attraction there, even if it's in a sense of like, I think some people are going to watch this match kind of hoping it falls apart. Some people. Other people, I think at Wembley, I think this is going to get a huge reaction. You saw the way Cardiff reacted to Britt Baker. I think the AEW audience sees Britt Baker as a big deal. Mercedes' reputation speaks for itself. So that's a huge key. I think Dragon in the main event is a game changer. Because I will say this, Cole and MJF said, it was a big-time crowd pleaser. But it's Bryan Danielson, right?
Yeah.
Ospreay's
The big issue is we don't have Sting this year.
How'd you know?
It's true. Good point. He could be in the Gauntlet.
He could be, yeah. All right, let's get to some super chats, folks. We hope you're fired up for All In. Apparently we are. Dukes, what should they do if they like this video so far?
I think they should hit the like button.
You do?
Maybe smash the like button.
Smashing it would be good. That would be more emphatic. I agree. All right, go smash the like button, folks. Okay. Will, open-ended question. MJF, Cole, or one final beat? Discuss. Listen, say what you will about MJF, Cole. It don't come close to one final. One final beat is one of the most disgraceful things ever done in wrestling. A horrifying crime that was committed upon professional wrestling. I mean, you have to like MJF and Cole. I haven't gone back to it in a long time, and I kind of don't ever want to, but one final beat was something else. That was a different kind of evil. Does anyone have any different disagreements with that? Or is that a fair take?
I don't hate one final beat.
Oh, fuck. What do you mean it's fine? This is the problem with the young folks. It's fine. No, it isn't fine. It's wrong.
I think MJF and Cole, as I look back, is a travesty to humanity.
All right, let's talk about this. So, the difference here being, this is the way I'll explain this. MJF and Adam Cole was the hottest angle in the promotion. True or false?
Yeah.
Okay. It was unnecessarily hesitant, but okay, fair.
He gave you two options, and he didn't pick either of them.
Someone up before his match. I think that was the hottest angle that night.
Okay. All right, tough guy. Now listen. 80,000 people was really into them being friends. Is that silly? Yes. Is it a mistake in hindsight, and would the entire year of AEW have been changed if they'd have just done a turn that night and it would have changed history? Yes. Imagine looking at that, though, and comparing it to the absolute refrigerator that Gargano and Ciampa had become by the time they did one final bit. I mean, that is 2 years after their peak in terms of their feud. NXT's on its arse. And unless I'm mistaken, this was in the pandemic where there was no matches at all. Wasn't it just like, was it Moro talking over it? What did they do? How did they produce it? I remember it being an empty gymnasium. Okay.
No, yeah, they did matches in the empty Full Sail for a little bit, and then they moved the Performance Center.
But where did their match end? Because I remember it being very dramatic, and Candice LeRae got in the ring and so on and so forth.
They ended in the PC, I think.
So then they fought. Did they have cinematic music over the top of it, or was it just silent? I forget these things.
Was there? I don't remember if there was music. I have not seen it since it aired.
Okay, so how old were you when it aired? Now we're getting to the real problem.
I think MJF Cole was MJF and Adam Cole main evented in wait, okay. What was the question, Joe?
Okay. Were you 17 years old when this match aired?
Oh, what, 2020? Right?
Yeah, you were 17 years old,
Yeah,
weren't you?
17, yeah.
All right. It was fine. I get it. As you were saying, Carol.
MJF and Adam Cole was the main event of the largest attended wrestling show in history. And they put on an unserious match. I do not care about the British propaganda of everybody cheering for it. Does not matter to me.
Well, hold on.
The referee bump with the Panama Sunrise, which in and of itself is offensive.
It's wrong. It's
to
wrong.
wrestling.
It's wrong. It's wrong. You're fighting the wrong fight here. I'm not saying that MJF Adam Cole is justice. What I'm saying is, if those two fellas are doing a year or two, I'm saying that's death penalty stuff. Fight one final beat. That's why, I'm not here to tell you that MJF Adam Cole was good. There's levels to the game. And as far as British propaganda, we wasn't the nation that cheered those two fellas over the FTR on a Saturday Night Collision. We didn't do that. That was your lot over there. You lot did that over there. We didn't do it. We were innocent.
I don't claim this country. Whoa. Okay, leave me out of this.
And it says a lot that the one final beat angle and match was so hot that it is now seen as like the absolute pinnacle of NXT's just decline through time. So much so that nowadays, I'm not going to be spiteful, but, things have changed, Kaden. Things have changed. Whereas MJF, he's hotter than ever. He took a photo with Joe Holbert the other week. He's in a big match with Will Ospreay this weekend. The world can't wait for Adam Cole's return. My God, I'm chomping at the bit for it. I can't wait. See what he's going to do. So it's different, But I'm willing to just agree to disagree. If you have any further points, now's the time.
I'm not going to die on the hill of one final beat. That's not something I'm worth.
In all seriousness, I haven't seen that match since it first aired.
I've never seen it, and I would very much like for people to stop saying the phrase "one final beat" over and over again. It's making me uncomfortable. Next super chat, please.
All right, let's move forward. Thank you for the question.
Last time I heard one final beat was when we had to wait for Bob to go to the fucking show in Chicago.
Shutdown Spurs. Give a little Grand Prix at LNG.
That was a masturbation joke, guys.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, thanks, appreciate it. With the wine emojis, which I appreciate. I was going to kill the wine bit, but people like the wine bit, so I'm actually going to keep it going. I think it's fun. But thank you, Shaitan Spurs. I hope you are well, quiz, and things of that nature.
The chat can't get mad at me for that joke. I just listened to them talk about fucking one final beat and MJF Cole, a match I've never seen that has to be one of the worst matches ever, and another match that I did see and was fucking terrible. And
there's not. Did you actually dislike it that much?
The main event of All In?
Yeah.
It sucked.
See, I can't
no
remember
offense to anyone watching.
You are.
Okay, let's go.
All right. I don't know. Papa Holbert didn't like it. I know that much for sure. All right. What a fascinating time that was. Wembley build last year with you remember when Punk had 8 different feuds and he just sort of went, I'll wrestle Joe, whatever. What's the worst that can happen? Almost like he was trying to get fired. Anyway, Anjan says, always should be Hangman. We're done with the 2000s. This is horseshit, dude. This nobody's going to do this.
We done with the 2000s. Sorry to say it.
Novi, when did Hangman debut?
Whenever the world began and their light shone down on Earth. The day I opened my eyes. What century was it?
Let's go with that. Was it in the 2000s by chance?
It was the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes. They put Hangman Adam Page in front of me and they said, look at this beautiful, beautiful sight.
I honestly, you know what? We talk about one final beat. I have to be honest. Now that the dust has settled, smoke has cleared, I think we need to have a real conversation about the crimes committed against Bryan Danielson in this Hangman propaganda. Nova, you're front and center with this. He's a nice little professional wrestler. Good Larry on him. I don't have a problem with Hangman Adam Page, but we're talking about the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, things of that nature,
I like Dragon, and he does a nice kick. He used to do a cool submission.
Tons of kicks. Yeah.
Then he stopped doing the submission. He became less cool. And then he stole a great cowboy spot, and he became the worst wrestler I've ever seen in my life.
Well, look, here's the deal.
Okay. I took it too far. I'm joking. I'm kidding. I like Bryan Danielson, but he committed a great crime, and he deserves to pay for it.
I just think you have to, at some point, ask the question, does your boy want it bad enough? You know, I asked that question about Gallows in 2015. He had 4 points in the G1 climax. I had to ask a question. He didn't want it bad enough. That's fine. I live with it. It's okay. I just think, you know,
This is my thing, Joe.
Is it the libs again?
And I've been following wrestling for 34 years.
Yeah.
And Bryan Danielson, who some people call the American Dragon, some people know him as Daniel Bryan from his time in the World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. I don't think that's debatable.
Oh, yeah.
And what we have now is we have a contingent of fans.
A great contingent, strong contingent.
Who are mad that he's going to main event Wembley Stadium
over
a guy who helped start the downfall of All Elite Wrestling. A promotion that was red hot.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
Until they put the title on him.
Yep.
And it's been downhill ever since.
Never recovered.
He ran off one of their top stars.
And that's not even talking about Punk.
Yeah. So, well, I like Hangman Adam Page. He's a good little worker. I may have taken him number 1 overall in a draft at one time on this channel. I'm actually still a big fan of Hangman Adam Page. But what people have done is made me pick sides here in a situation between a good upper mid-card guy and one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. Some people think it's a good idea for your big show of the year to end with a heel winning the championship. I think a good thing to do is to have an all-time legend win the title with Final Countdown and fireworks going off and things of that nature. But I also just may understand wrestling a little bit more than some of these people because I've been watching it a lot longer.
Last time they made us pick sides with the Young Bucks FTR.
Yeah, look how that ended.
Huh? Look at that.
Did you see on Wednesday when FTR got a good match out of the Young Bucks? And some people went on Twitter and said, "Hey, look, these guys can still have good matches," as if that's a compliment and doesn't just prove that they haven't been trying this entire time. It almost would be better if they were just cooked, but instead, I'm having to watch some of the most highly paid people in the promotion phone it in on television until they had to get in the ring with real professional wrestlers who weren't going to let that happen. Shout out to FTR. Shout out to Darby Allin. Next super chat, please.
Okay. Maybe we shouldn't even talk about the matches. We should do this. Brainbuster, Rent, good call. Brainbuster owes us a lot of money. Good point. Thank you, Brainbuster.
Wasn't me money.
Okay. He does. Cal, hefty super chat from our friend Cal. He says, very excited for Mariah and Toni. Brian Swerve will be extraordinary in that setting, and I hope they don't do a cash in. Also, Cora Jade. Jesus, what was the need for that bit at the end?
Cook.
What was that?
Cook.
What has Cora Jade done?
Nothing. That's why.
Oh, okay. All right.
Blew out her knee a few times. She did that.
Fuck, if that was an issue, who would be on the late night Grim roster? Fuck.
That's a good call.
All right. I don't know about Cora Jade, but I agree on the cashing thing. We'll get to it later. I think it'd be a mistake, but we'll get to it. Thank you, Cal, very much for super chat, and he sent another one. We really appreciate the support.
Go ahead and read that one, Joe.
And he says, I guess what Cal said. I'm talking about this is what Cal said here. He said what he said. He said Alicia. He said that her neck is calling to Britt Baker, DMD, the doctor, Britt Baker, like the Green Goblin mask, which calls a reference to the Sam Raimi picture, Spider-Man. So that was what Cal said. I was just reading what Cal said, and it was about the Green Goblin. Thank you, Cal, for the super chats. I also am excited for Mariah versus Toni. All right. Shout-out Spurs. One day the internet will stop pretending Britt isn't over. The AEW audience definitely sees her as a really big deal. This is a big match for her in, I think making that sustainable, because I feel like if she doesn't have a good match with Mercedes, it's kind of alarming, right? Like, I'm not even doing that as a bit. Like, this needs to be good, this match, right? Because the atmosphere should be with it. They've built it up. So yeah, I'm with you though. Britt is, and that's the whole thing with like there's a disconnect between online and the fans. Like I definitely don't think she's as popular as she was, but she's still popular, definitely.
She'll get Joe Hendry level reactions in the Performance Center later this year.
And Jan PN says, "Will the dentist choke someone out a bit?" Hashtag brawl in.
I think that was a callback. Did you want to go back to the other one and read that one again?
The one about Green Goblin?
Yeah.
I'll talk about Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man. She might, yeah. I don't know, man. I haven't asked. Thank you. One and only. Does Swerve have final boss energy going into All In? Yes, absolutely. Swerve has been great. The biggest challenge of being the world's champion, more than having great matches and cutting good promos, is just feeling like the world's champion.
Mm-hmm.
Swerve Strickland, first month or so, I was not certain he had that secret sauce, that little extra, and then the Ospreay match, the confidence. Oh my goodness, he feels like the world's champion and then some. He's going to win the belt many times over.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the super chat. Darren Cagey. Oh.
Get that off the screen. Get that off the screen. Absolutely
yes.
not.
Oh my
yes,
God.
Merchant.
Darren Cook.
Yes,
DM Bob, he'll give you your $2 back, but we're not doing that.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that. J Blood, why did they even re-sign? I'll hang up and listen. Who is this about?
The Young Bucks.
Tony Khan's been asking the same thing every day, brother.
All right. All right. I think they're gonna have a good match on Sunday. That's what I'm gonna say.
You
think
Also,
that's
the reason,
Joe, you love those multi-team tag matches too. That's like right up your
well, I
alley.
do when the FTR are in them.
Yeah.
But just pretend. All right. Okay, couple things, couple hand business situation. No, just one. I stress this on Twitter. I stress this on the Holbert House show. Do it now. Cancel your Twitch thing. Subscription. Cancel. Get it off.
Delete the app.
Yeah, we have an echo. Get rid of it. All right, just get rid of it. We
Don't ever go on
want
Twitch again.
Don't ever go on. Not even for anything else. Don't use
We're gonna
it.
get sued.
We're partners. We might. I don't know. No, but yeah, we're no, but yeah. God, listen to me. I'm so eloquent. But we're about to do LNG gold.
LNG.
LNG. Thanks.
You got-
bro. It's really late, you know.
You got it.
LNG
That's our new
gold.
gold show where we cover karate.
Oh. Distance away from what Alex has been pitching, to be fair. So yeah, cancel that and get fired up for LNG gold. That's what I was trying to say.
Give us all your money.
Some of the super chats still rattled me, you know.
Yeah.
Not
Send
in
more
particular.
super chats.
and like the video. All right.
Leave comments when it's over.
Make a note. Set a reminder.
Yeah.
Only 33 minutes in. Kris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway of CBS Sports fame wrestled Tomohiro Ishii and Willow Nightingale. They're going to wrestle. I haven't done it yet. This is going to be on the pre-show here at the Wembley Stadium. And this is a very fun deal, right? We got, oh, fuck. This is a very fun deal. For those of you listening, the chat is doing chat things. But this is a very fun
Hold on,
deal.
Joe. We have a super chat.
All right, we do. Princess Diana says, Joe, I sympathize you try to control these American children while trying to run a respectable program. My daughter Mariah is willing to. Thank you, Princess Diana. I appreciate it. All right. So as I was saying, pretty hilarious, pretty awesome. Stokes going to get to work this stadium show. And Ishii is going to be opposite him. This has worked out well. This is fun. I think there is a criticism to be made, and it would be fair to say that they've not done a great job of maintaining Kris and Willow as like a main event conflict necessarily. But the counterpoint to that would be Ishii is going to lariat Stokely Hathaway at Wembley Stadium. So, some give and take in this life, right? It's going to be very fun. And it'll be for a stipulation. So, Dukes, thoughts on the match? Who have you got winning? Then what do you think the stip's going to be for Chicago?
I think the baby faces win. I think Willow and Big Tom win. Mostly because they have that chemistry, because Willow is calling him Big Tom. Willow's been calling him by his shoot nickname, Big Tom.
Sure.
And I think there's a bond there that Stoke and Stat don't really have yet. Also, but Stokely hit a pretty crazy spine buster.
He did.
So
yeah, it's very Ron Simmons. Very, very Ron Simmons.
yeah, but I think Willow wins, and then I think it depends on what Hangman, because I think Hangman and Swerve is probably going to be all out, right?
yeah.
And that'll probably be a cage match. So maybe
Is that a scoop?
no, I'm just guessing.
No, it's not.
I
I think it'll be the other way around.
you think Willow and Stat will be a cage match?
Well, actually, I shouldn't say I think it will, but I think that's what I would do personally.
Yeah.
Because I think they're going to do something more wild with Hangman and Swerve, and a cage would be perfect for Kris and Stat because
I agree.
Kris and Stat would be a good match. Kris and Willow because, Stokely and such. But yeah, one of those matches should be a cage match, definitely. This should be fun, certainly. Kaden, what do you make of this pre-show business?
It's Tomohiro Ishii working Wembley Stadium. It's going to be really fun. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Stat and Willow have the match here at Wembley. It feels like that's what they were going to do, but it makes sense why you kind of save it for All Out to give them the time that they would actually need instead of loading us with 10 matches. Could have taken Chris Jericho out and put them there, but I digress. I expect Willow and Ishii to win this, and then Stat can win the last singles match they have.
Sounds good to me. Novi, what do you think?
There's some good bald-on-bald violence in this match. And I'd probably say that people are underrating one of the balds. Stokely Hathaway was in a team with Big Sam Joe one time, so he has experience going into this one. I think people are underrating. He might drop Big Ishii on his head. But yeah, I agree with Kaden. This is a fun little match. It's good to kind of, have one of those fun ones on here and kind of give Stat and Willow their time on All Out, hopefully with a nice little stip. I don't know about a cage necessarily, but I think a stip will also help that match because it's not been like fantastic, and I feel like something like that to add a little extra juice will help that match be a little better.
Yeah, I think to your point about Ishii, I think it's a good one. I think there's a chance Stokely lays him out. I agree with you. I think we've seen a decline with Ishii, right? He didn't make the G1 this year. There's some questions about his punch resistance. If Stokely hits him on the chin, Matt, I think he could be all over at Wembley Stadium, which would be a shocker, but I think anything's possible under those bright lights. What do you reckon?
All I can say is I've heard rumors of a steel plate in Stokely's forearm.
I've heard the same thing. Yeah.
Anyway, this is a perfect pre-show match. It'll be really fun. My instinct would be that the heel gets to pick the stipulation because that's usually the way you go with it. But I feel like Statlander is going to win the blow-off. So Willow probably needs to win here. Plus, I mean, I don't know. I guess most likely Willow wins here. They'll pick some kind of cool stipulation match, and then Statlander is going to win in the end. Which, hilariously, Willow will probably just win in the end anyway. But I would think that Statlander should win the I feel like that cricket is indicative of my performance as I speak on this match.
We need to do something with the cricket, folks. I'm sorry to say. It's very loud. Can we isolate the cricket? I'm not saying harm the cricket, but it needs to the microphone.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself.
I'll do it.
Okay. It's Kaden Lee. It's Wrestle Purist guy. It's the Wrestle
It's
Purist
not
guy.
it's coming through my mic. Like I can hear.
Yeah, he was muted before.
It's not me.
All right,
Okay.
hang on, all right.
Okay.
Hang up. Hands up. Everyone hands up. Hands up. Weapon. Empty your pockets. Okay. Kaden Lee, unmute. Might be this Dukes fucker. Right. I think Kaden Lee's innocent. Right. Kaden Lee, mute yourself. I apologize, Kaden Lee. Dukes, unmute yourself. It's fucking Dukes. I knew it was Dukes. I was just setting him up, Kaden. I was setting him up. I knew it was him. You got to
Makes
earn their
sense.
trust. Yeah, you earn their trust. It's all right. When you're Dukes, when you're not cutting the promo, just mute yourself because otherwise it sounds like we're in sort of like a park of some kind. All right, mate. All right. Okay. With that settled, so Matt, you were saying you're really excited about this match, aren't you, mate?
I am, yes. I've
Yeah.
lost my train of thought. Not that I
That's
really
all
had
right.
one
It's
to
a
begin
pre-show,
with.
isn't it?
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. All right.
Is that
there's a
the only
couple
pre-show
matches.
match right about now?
As of right now, I think they may add
They have a 2 hour.
something quirky. Yeah, they
Gotta
have
have
two. And
something.
last year there was 2 pre-show matches, but of course one of those ended quite unfortunately. So maybe it'll be kind of a new tradition to just do one at the All In. We'll see how that goes.
They should have done a women's casino gauntlet.
There you go. Madison Rain could have been in that. One and only here with a super chat says, which match to most likely end in a shoot fight? This just feels like a setup for us to say.
Jericho and Hook.
Yes, Jericho and Hook. Well, that's our answer. Maybe Hook will finally realize that this 6-month feud has done nothing but damage to him. We'll have enough of it, and we'll, I don't know, whatever Hook would do. Maybe Hook is a shooter. I don't know. There's a couple matches I want to kind of get out of the way, not in a negative way. Well, one of them is negative, the other one's not. The first one is the not so much. London ladder match, Patriarchy, Bang Bang Gang, House of Black, winner of the Collision main event. So the reason I want to get this out of the way is these are like the ones where it's kind of hard to. I don't want to spoil Collision, but like, you know.
Yeah, I don't know who won that match actually.
Right, exactly. Like I actually don't know. I just feel confident, but I don't want to be like an asshole about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The reason I think it's hard to talk about is if my guess is correct and Pac is winning that match, it feels like the reason you would do that is because Pac is going to just win the belts with 2 different people than he was intended to initially win the belts before those gentlemen headed somewhere else.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right? Like it's
Didn't
kind of
even think
hard
about
to
that.
predict.
That's funny.
Because once I saw that Pac was doing that deal with them, I was kind of like, I just feel like they're going to just put the belts on. They're going to have Pac pull the belts down the same way he was always intended to. I could be wrong. I don't know. But, I mean, we've got 12 guys in this 12-man ladder match here, 4 teams. Hopefully everyone gets out of this safe. I'm sure we'll rock the house and be fun. I'm not, like, super into these matches at this point, but I'm sure it'll be fun. Novi, what do you make of the London ladder match?
I'm kind of on the same train. I think it'll be fun, but it's going to scare the shit out of me because there's 12 people in a ladder match is very scary, especially when they're all trios and stuff. I think the Pac guess is a good shout for the winner, but since he has the international title shot still, which he said he was going to wrestle for it All Out, I'm pretty sure. I think House of Black are actually probably going to steal one here. They've been like pretty good lately and have kind of like locked in a little more. It's felt like Malachi kind of woke up and was like, well, maybe I can like land on my back a little bit from time to time. And so I feel like I'd be interested in seeing another reign from them, probably more so than any of these other teams because I think they could just, I don't know, I think they could do some good work with them. They need it. Trios belts are scary.
The House of Black should have been baby faces all along. It was like very apparent. People wanted to cheer them and they would have
so
them
likable.
do like, well, they just,
They're cool.
they have a cool factor, right?
Especially Buddy Matthews.
Especially Buddy Matthews, very handsome. And, you know, they're good at like the matches they're most fun in is when they just kick ass, right? I don't want to see them take a heat segment. Like, I just want to beat everyone up. So I'm not against it. They'll probably get a really strong reaction here. There isn't a lot of guys in this match that are like, that in my head anyway, I necessarily go, oh, he'd be a really good fit in a ladder match. But I guess there's so many people that everyone can kind of chip in. And obviously Christian Cage is the high chancellor of all things ladder matches. So this will be interesting. Dukes and your cricket, what do you think?
Ladder match will be good.
There he
What's the
is.
cricket
The
say?
cricket's back. There we go. Thank you, Dukes. Who are you picking, Dukes?
I don't even know who's in the fucking match, Joe. Just move to the next thing.
All right, shoot. What do you reckon?
So these multi-man ladder matches, I have the same reaction every time, which is I don't give a fuck. And then the match starts and I lose my mind the entire time, which is going to happen again. So this will be good. Honestly, I think the assumption that it's Pac and Big Claude and Utes is probably the safe assumption, but I don't know that for sure. And honestly, the other guys in some ways would maybe even add to the match some.
Yeah, true.
Although I would kind of feel bad for Dante being back out there in another ladder match. But
it's just Claudio worked. Claudio did Dynamite, so it's like it'd be kind of crazy to ask him to do the double duty just to put over Leo Rush and Top Flight, right?
Yeah. But yeah, this will be fun. Christian Cage will put the thing together. I'm sure it'll be chaos. I'm sure there'll be a couple things that'll just be a fucking mess and won't work, but there'll also be probably a spot or two that will blow our minds. So, as far as who's going to win, your logic makes sense, but I also think Novi's got a good point. I mean, I assume Ospreay's winning, so you're gonna do Pac and Ospreay, but I guess Ospreay's just gonna win that match. So does it really matter that Pac's got one of the belts? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. This will be fun. I'm done rambling now.
I think it'll be fun too. Kaden Lee, do you think it'll be fun?
I think it'll be fun. I'm a little tired of ladder matches. We've had a lot this year. I think when I looked at like AEW pay-per-views, 3 out of the last 4 have had a ladder match going back to Dynasty. So that's kind of insane. I agree with Novi that it feels like House of Black will win this. I think the plan might have been to put the titles originally on Death Triangle because it just doesn't seem like having Christian Cage in there long-term in the trios doesn't seem like something they'd want to do. No matter what, whoever wins this, all I want to see it all out is whoever 3 win versus the team of AJ, Big Justice, and the Rizzler. That's a boom.
That's
Who
a
the
good shout.
who is that?
Fuck this.
I think that's a great shout, Kaden.
I'm unmuting so you can hear the cricket.
Are you voting Doom on that guest appearance?
Yeah, that's terrible. One of the worst things I've ever heard in my life.
I don't
probably.
know.
They're gonna bring the boom, and that's what they do.
I've never felt older in my life.
We
They
bring the
always-
boom to you.
Shoot, you know the TikTok people that are like the Costco guys?
Like,
Or it's like the guy
I
and his kids. It's the worst shit ever.
Yeah, I saw the WrestlePeers tweet about this, and I didn't know who the fuck they were. And then I don't have TikTok because I'm an adult. But I must admit that I do have Instagram. So I went on Instagram and I searched Costco guys. And I watched one video and I got mad and I closed the application and I set my phone on fire. But anyway, it sounds like they're going to be there, I guess. No, not even there. They're going to be in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So whatever. Next. Got any more super chats?
Yes, mate, we do actually. It's Chi-Town Spurs. He says Julia Hart 100% misting Mama Wayne that'll get a huge pop.
Yeah, it will.
If Jules Hart does that and then Budrow climbs up the ladder and gets his big moment at Wembley Stadium while the people chant Buddy, and then an Australian flag sort of flies high. I don't know.
With his
man.
face on it. No one's ever done that in this promotion.
They could even sell it, right? With
Yeah.
his face on the flag.
People could get really mad about flag code. 'Cause I wonder if Australia has a flag code.
It's interesting.
People
Very,
can go on
very
Twitter and
interesting.
tweet that it's illegal while probably having a shirt in their closet that's got American flag on it.
Why are you just talking about Bob now openly? What's up with this? Thank you, Chi-Town Spurs. Thank you very, very much. All right. Let's get this other one out of the way. Chris Jericho versus Hook. I don't want to dwell on this because it's boring, and we've literally done like 8 versions of this preview now across this year's pay-per-views.
Two bad wrestlers
obviously-
having a bad match, whatever.
Yeah, it obviously fucking sucks. They need to figure out like an actual. I don't know how this Jericho thing goes on. It's awful. And Hook is alarmingly stagnant as a talent. So I'd imagine this is going to fucking suck. Does anyone have anything to say about Jericho and Hook? Thumbs down from Duke, thumbs down from Novi, thumbs down from Kaden. Wow, there you go. All right. We all think Hook's going to win, right?
No.
No, we
No.
don't.
Jericho's going over. He
Jericho.
lost last year. He needs a
Who
win.
cares?
Thank
Okay.
you, Dukes.
Who could possibly
Look is going
care?
to the Performance Center in like 3 weeks.
I hope. Look, I don't give. I ain't. I'm not doing the like. I hope he goes there because I don't want him on my team, bro. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is, I would like him to be in a different promotion to Samoa Joe because I'm very concerned Samoa Joe's final years as a professional wrestler are going to be spent as Hook's on-screen mentor, and that's like me doing 2-man shows with Bob. It's just unnecessary. It's a waste of everyone's time. So, all right. We'll move on. Fozzy are doing a concert, by the way.
You enjoy that live, Joe.
I did I had a great time last year. Fozzy.
With the
I'm a big
Fozzy
fan.
concert?
I'm
You're a big fan. You're a big fan.
Swerve performed with them tonight.
But he did. That was really good.
Monty loved it.
The Young Bucks versus the Acclaimed versus the FTR. This is for the AEW World's Tag Team Titles of the World. This, of course, is a very simple situation where the best team in the world, FTR, have returned to bring justice and honor back to the tag division. They have entered a feud with the Acclaimed, including a 30-minute draw, which tore down the Sportatorium. And I think the Young Bucks are involved also. This is very, very interesting. Triple threat, tag titles on the line, confirm shoot. We're fighting for what's right here, aren't we?
So look, we've seen things like this before. You know, LeBron James leading a bunch of no names to the finals with the Cavs. That's the best example I can come up with. This match will be good because FTR will will it to be good, despite the fact that almost every match they've ever had with the Young Bucks has been underwhelming in some regard. Unfortunately, I think the Young Bucks will probably just win this match anyway.
They're definitely going to win.
Yeah. Continuing their reign of incompetence on the tag team division as it gets less and less relevant. So, great use of Tony Khan's money. Next.
I think I think the Bucks going to win. I think the Acclaimed are actually the second most likely winners.
Yeah.
But I do think there could be a riot in there on Sunday if the FTR don't win.
Anthony Bowens is really good.
He's fucking awesome. I spoke to some people, and there is definitely an intention that, like, if shit goes, if we don't get the title change we're looking for, we may just storm the ring. And I'm prone to do that. You sort of that you'll call with MJF, right? Like, so yeah, I'm definitely open to that. Definitely open to that. But yeah, I think the Bucks can win. I actually think the match is gonna be really good. For like bits aside, I think the match is probably gonna be really good. The Bucks are really good at putting these matches together. I assume they're gonna give a shit here, so I think this will be fun. Kaden, what do you think?
Joe, are you coordinating with Jericho's wife when y'all plan to storm the ring? Okay.
Oh,
I think this match will be above expectations, but the Bucks are still very bad in this role.
Well, the problem with that, Kaden, is there's a wrestler currently. Well, that's the kind of thing you encourage, and that's what you get what you deserve in this game. There is a wrestler on TV currently doing a Make America Great Again gimmick that I've actively been pictured with, and you still did with Jericho's wife. I feel like you could have adjusted a little bit, but you'll get there. Performance Center, right? Performance Center.
Honestly, he kind of cooked you there, but I didn't sell because I'm a good friend.
You didn't sell. You went to the comment section and was the only person who did sell.
Yeah.
You picked your phone up to sell.
Yeah. I was going to do the same bit, but I was going to say Bob instead of Jericho's wife. But then I decided not to do it. Yeah, Meech is right. I'm pretty much mad that I didn't actually do it. Jenny Vance is back.
This is hello, fellas. I was looking for my biggest sport Bob at the donut shop.
From my state.
But I couldn't find him. Where is he, dude? That donut shop video was fucking insane.
Oh my God.
Bob's at the furniture store.
I liked where he ordered. He goes, just whatever makes sense. Just has no awareness as to what one orders at this kind of establishment.
How long did you work there? And how long have you worked here?
Give me whatever normal people, the humans, order from.
Let's talk about politics for a half hour.
Nope, let's not.
No.
Let's review the Democratic National Convention.
Hell of an angle. All right. Kaden? Did you pick a winner in this, or did you just attack my politics?
No, I just went after politics. I have the Bucks retaining here. I don't want them to retain, but I just don't see them ending the elite title reigns.
Novi.
I was ready to come on the show and say this match was going to be dog shit because the whole thing was pissing me off real bad and I didn't like it. And then they had a nice little 6-man, and I was like, okay, maybe they'll actually be good for once, and they'll like kind of be worth the money they're being paid. I'm looking forward to this match. Actually, I think it'll be like a fun party match.
Yeah.
That's about what it is. I think the Bucks are going to retain. I think, we're coming up on the part of their contract where they're supposed to be working more, so I think that's probably what they're going to be doing here.
That laugh was fucking. This has got out of hand, and I let it. It's still got out of hand.
I mean, they're going to show up to the buildings.
Dukes,
They'll do that.
Hello, Dukes.
Maybe.
Unmute, Dukes. What do you think?
I think the Young Bucks are probably going to win. I think FTR should win. They won't.
Good
I think
answer.
the good tag team should be the tag team champions.
Good
Hot
answer.
take.
That's why you're LNG Dojo trained. Okay. There you go. All right, we're now into the good stuff, the big stuff. Of course, I think the last match is the good stuff, but I'm famously pro the AEW tag division. All right.
Big Young
AEW
Bucks guy.
TNT. Exactly. AEW TNT title. Coffin match. They do coffin matches. Darby does casket matches, correct? I'll get this right one day. Coffin.
Yes.
Because Darby Allin's move is the coffin drop, correct, Matt?
Yes.
That's what they're doing. Darby Allin and Jack Perry. Two of the four pillows, as Jim Ross once called them. Jackie Perry, of course, is now doing he's doing sort of Scott Levy.
He made his own belt.
He did, which actually was really cool. For real, that was actually really cool. That video of him making it popped me huge.
Do you think he actually made it, or that was just well edited?
I think he's kind of quirky in that way. I think he does some crazy shit. I think this is a bit of a dark horse to steal the show. Darby Allin is maybe the best wrestler in the promotion. He's certainly among them. And Jack Perry is nuts. He's absolutely down to do some crazy shit, which when you pair that with Darby, I think this could be a dynamic combination here. I've just got a good feeling about this. I don't know. And in addition to that, I think this match is hard to pick. I've done a couple preview shows elsewhere. I did Wrestle Hook. Shout out to them in the chat. I did True Hill Heat. And there's been a lot of people split on this. Like, who's going over here? I was confident it was going to be Jackie Perry. I'm intrigued. Dukes, what do you think of the coffin match here?
I think I'm going to go with Darby. I also think this is a dark horse to like steal the show because I don't think there's been a bad coffin match. And also Darby's like won all of them, and I feel like that's kind of a thing they're doing. So I think he'll win.
Interesting. So the big factor with Darby, of course, is next month he'll be working someone for the AEW World's title. But I guess that doesn't necessarily mean he can't be the TNT. You know, I guess it depends on how they frame that. It feels like for Jack Perry, this is a really important match because obviously he returned with a lot of momentum. And I think his performance has been good in some spots, but his usage has been much like the rest of the Elite, very like up and down, right, and inconsistent. And it feels like with a big match here, he can kind of, it feels to me like he can kind of announce himself back on the big stage as one of the players in this promotion. So it's going to be an interesting one. Kaden, what do you think of the coffin match here?
The two big factors for this, you mentioned him having the world title shot at Grand Slam. I think that does kind of make me lean towards Jack Perry winning over Darby. The other thing is that the report was that Sting was telling people close to him that he was heading to London. And if he's going to be involved, that kind of makes me a little like curious about if they like how they use Sting. If he's gonna if they use him later in the match, if they use him in the entrance. I think if they use him in the entrance, Jack can still go over. So that's the one thing that's kind of worrying me a little bit. But I'm still gonna lean towards Jack retaining to stick with my Elite retaining throughout the night.
It just feels like Jack's he's just got started with a belt, it feels like, right?
He's had only one defense, right? It's the Marco defense.
Yeah, so did he win it at Forbidden Door? So it's only been a couple months. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's too...
He just made it.
He just made it too, yeah.
He needs to keep it.
I think so. Novi, what do you think?
I'm definitely on the train that you're on. I think this is a dark horse. It could be like genuinely up there match of the night. We all know how good Darby Allin is. Like the best TV wrestler maybe of all time. He puts his body on the line no matter what spot he's in. I watched a match with the Butcher on Rampage, and he just like flung himself into stairs, and it was in front of like not that many people. And then I think Jack Perry is a very underrated wrestler. I think a lot of people overlook how many good matches he's actually had, especially when he's in one of these like big spots. I think he usually steps up.
Right.
And they're going to want to kill it because they're two young guys. And I don't think they've necessarily like, I think Darby has kind of made himself. He had the Sting match where he kind of made himself. But I don't think like Jack Perry as the scapegoat has really like arrived because they've not given him much opportunity to arrive. They haven't given him very many matches, like you said. So this is a good opportunity. We should kickstart this. Like this should be where we begin giving him matches like almost every week because I think that's what he's best at. Even though I do think he's gotten pretty good at character work, like over the last little bit when he became the scapegoat. I think it added a lot of layers to what he was before. So yeah, I think this is a match with like big implications to who wins, and it kind of makes it like it being up in the air a lot more interesting to me. But for me, I think Darby hasn't lost a coffin match, but I think that's going to play into it. Like, if there's anyone to beat him in a coffin match, it's probably one of the pillars, and I think Jack is a good shout to do it. And like you said, he did just make his little belt. I mean, he took up metalworking in his time away, which is very beast. And I'd like to see that belt more on TV. I'd like to see it defended. So I'm going to go with Jack Perry in this, and I think it's going to be very, very good. They're going to do crazy shit.
Yeah, I like the point actually about Jack in big spots. His pay-per-view resume is very good. His match with then it was still Luchasaurus. The cage match is like...
That's what I immediately thought of.
Yeah, it's an insane... I mean, the Christian match is great, but that is more a case of Christian being, absurd. But he's incredible in the Luchasaurus match. So I'm with you. Yeah, I agree. I think in ring he's still more natural as a babyface, but like this match is going to be chaotic, so I don't think there'll be a problem. So yeah, I co-sign. Shoot, I think this is going to be pretty damn good. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this a lot. Novi kind of made the point I was going to make because basically I was going to say that neither of these guys miss when it matters. Darby doesn't miss, period. And Jack, I really like Jack Perry. I feel like I'm kind of in the minority on that now. I don't like their usage of him. He's best when he's working all the time, and I wish we would get back to that. I hope that's a choice that they've made and is not like a thing where, some of his friends are rubbing off on him. But this match will be awesome. I don't know who's going to win. I didn't know that Sting was rumored to be in London. So now that Kaden's ruined that surprise for me. No, I don't. I feel like Jack should win. I mean, he just made that belt.
Yeah.
But
he needs it more, right?
He needs more. Darby. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, Darby's. I mean, he's probably going to lose a Grand Slam, but like, you don't want to go too far. You never want to go too far in this direction. But like, does losing really hurt Darby? I don't know. Darby's a fast, there was the report that they think he's going to be the world champion one day, which is the correct stance to have. I don't really know what that report means. But he should be the world champion at some point.
Yes, very, very obviously should at least have a short reign as world champion.
Yes.
It's very apparent.
But yeah, I think this is going to be fucking awesome. Neither of these guys miss when it matters. They have good chemistry too. I feel like they work well together.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. Very, very hopeful. So we shall see. I'm sure they're going to have some crazy ideas up their sleeve. I have no doubt about that. So
Jack has a history of that at Wembley.
So we have up next the match that I talked to Confirm Shoot about. We both circled this as one that I think is one of the key attractions on the show, actually. I think it would be foolish to just write this off as, it's just a way to get a bunch of guys on the show. I think this is going to tear the house down. Casino Gauntlet, which this is their third entry of this, right? They've done 3 of these now. This is the third one, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first 2 were great. The second one was one of the more electric TV matches of the year. The first one was fun. The second one was great, I should say. This one, however, is a different thing altogether. This is in a stadium, but more than that, there are going to be some insane names in this match. I think, we already know the conglomeration, much of the conglomeration is going to be featured. We know that, I'm trying to think who we actually do know. We know Hangman, right? I think we can fairly assume if Hangman's in there, Double J is going to be in there.
Roddy's in it.
Roddy's in.
Orange.
There are a bunch of guys in London for.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. There are a bunch of guys in London for the Rev Pro show. Hechicero's working Rev Pro, so that could be a fun one to see maybe show up. I think it's
in town the night before.
ZSJ. I think there's room to be. I honestly would say I'd use the word confident about Ricochet being in there. I think Okada's going to be in there. And that's not even getting into, I think the winner of this match is going to be a returning Jon Moxley. So, I mean, the idea of the way this match basically works very much is like the Rumble in that you just kind of stack pops on top of each other, right? I mean, that's the way this is going. I mean, this is going to be an amazing atmosphere. I can't wait for this, honestly.
This, you got to be careful because you can't do it too much. But this has the chance to be their signature match. It's not important, but I'm going to say it again. I still think the name sucks, but the match itself fucking rules. But I can't even tell you what I would call it. So I guess I really can't say that. But the atmosphere for this should be awesome. Again, it's going to be pop after pop, and the format lends itself to be a little bit more fun even than the Rumble. And I say that as some of the Rumbles my favorite match ever.
It's more hectic, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just more set up for action, and because I mean, look, it's pro wrestling and we all know it's not actually going to happen, but the match can technically end at any time. So it does add a level. You can play with that, and it gives you kind of an element that you don't have in the Rumble. And I do agree with you. I think Moxley's winning this. Whether that's a good idea or not remains to be seen, but
probably not. But
yeah, but I've got a little bit of cautious optimism about where things could head with Moxley. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't think Hangman's winning this. I don't think we have anything to worry about with the cash-in stuff. But this match, this is going to be a blast.
For sure. I'm very, very excited for this. Dukes, are you very, very excited for this?
I'm excited. I'm excited for the match. I don't know if I'm excited for the potential outcome and where that goes, but
yeah,
it should be fun. Maybe Hechicero will be.
Yeah, Dukes is sort of approaching it because he's on mute. He's for whatever reason he's feeling the need to dive forward, he's sort of.
The rules, yeah.
It's awesome, dude. Just keep doing it.
The cricket seems like it's gone too.
Yeah, you can stay. You can stay with us now, Dukes. You're all right, mate. Good
it's back.
Right.
I still hear it. So
yeah, okay.
I was kidding, but yeah.
Dukes can still hear it. Okay, Dukes, report back to us throughout the night. Novi, what do you think? Casino Gauntlet. What do you reckon?
I think this match is going to be so sick. I love the first two matches. I think this concept is so sick. Obviously, the Royal Rumble is great on its own. We, pop after pop. It's a big spectacle. But this, I think, is even better just because of the aspect, it could end at any time. I think that's really cool. And we got a lot of big names. AEW, people have been saying for a long time they should just do their own Royal Rumble and just steal the idea. But I think, coming up with this is, kind of a better way to do it. Because they have such, a stacked roster. This could be filled with absolute stars. I think Ricochet is pretty much a lock, and I think I have him coming in at 2, because I think if there's anyone for him to grapple with for a little bit, it's probably OC, and kind of show off a bit. So yeah, I would originally I wanted him to kind of win just for fun. I wanted to kind of be different a little bit and say okay, we're gonna give him a big moment on this show. We're gonna make him feel like the biggest deal right upon arrival. But I think you're probably right. I think it's gonna be Mox, but I love Mox, but I can't get excited about a Jujutsu Merchant winning this match. It doesn't feel right to me. I need someone to hit a big flip or something to end it. I don't know what we don't need to get on the mat. We don't need to do all that. I also don't think Hangman's gonna win it. I know a lot of people are gonna say it, and I'm the Hangman defender, so I should say it, but I'm not going to say it because I think it'd be very, very silly. I think it'd be very dumb.
Is Roosh? Is he around for this?
I hope so.
I'd like to
I
see
hope
Roosh. I'm so excited for Roddy to come in this at like 10 and just everyone in the ring is gonna be like,
minutes.
"Oh fuck." You know, the boys are going to be in there, it'll be 10 deep, and Roddy's shitty music will hit, and they'll be like, "Oh, Jesus, here it comes." Beat the hell out of us all. Kaden, what are you thinking regarding Cassette? Before I go to you, actually, this is a good call. Michael Oku is.
Yeah, I think he'll be in the
I'm
match.
also. Yeah. Kaden, what do you think, mate? Who you got?
I'm really excited about this. I got to see the first one they did at Daly's place, and like being in the crowd for that type of match is just. It's just like really fun because you don't know who's coming out next. It's like the Royal Rumble, but it's less boring. The Rumble can get a little boring at times as you like wait for people to come. A few like things I'm thinking is they have not done or gotten close to doing the full 21 entrants. I kind of think they might do that just to get a lot of people in there or get like really close. I'm also kind of thinking we're going to see the return of Nigel McGuinness. If there's anywhere you want to have him jump into a match, I think this is like the perfect opportunity for it. So I think Nigel could be a really good surprise. I'm not buying the Mox rhetoric. I'm going to stick with my prediction I've had the prediction for I think 3 weeks now, and I'm sticking with Hangman. I got a feeling. I think if you want to do Mox with Danielson, if Danielson does win, if you want to do that match, you can do it without needing him to win this.
We'll see, folks. We shall see. All right. We have some super chats. This fella's back again. He said, went to the furniture store, as Duke suggested, and found Bob. He even helped me couch shop and got me a discount on a nice love seat.
I'm not sure.
Yes, mate.
There's laws here about equal representation, and I'm not sure we can keep letting JD Vance speak on our program without giving the Democratic candidates an opportunity.
Well, Dukes. Now's the time.
I don't know any of them.
Should we get Oracle on? Okay. Kartik said better build All In or Revolution. So Revolution, of course, had Sting and his retirement match. It had the triple threat ordeal where Joe was kind of in between Swerve and Hangman. It had Garcia and Christian. It had FTR, Moxley, Claudio. It had
Danielson and Eddie.
Which
it had Toni and Deanna.
I think this. I was going to say I think this beats in terms of build, but I'm very hesitant to do so because I think Revolution is actually one of the greatest wrestling shows ever.
I think the build to this show's better, but the Sting build specifically was incredible. But
yeah, and they also. It's very hard now to go back to how you felt going into Revolution because the card looked great, but I'm sure there were also wasn't. Oh my God, that card was unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
There are a lot of great AEW shows, but that is one of the handful that will actually like live forever. That show will be like an iconic show. I think that one. I think the first Punk match in Chicago with the end of Cole and Bryan debuting is one, right? Like, there's a handful of these shows that will actually like they're going on as classics. I think Revolution's top of that list. I would lean All In on build, but I don't really like giving that answer because I feel like it's almost not fair to what Revolution was. It was very, very special. And what a house and that. Oh my God! I bought the Blu-ray today, mate. I bought it.
Yeah, I need to do that. That's like.
Was that out?
Yeah.
That's the best like wrestling show I've ever been to in my life. Which is hilarious because I thought the show in Chicago was until I went to this show. Yeah. So
see, the Chicago show is a great show that because of other reasons it won't live the same way, right? But yeah, the Chicago show was brilliant. Yeah, I got Revolution and I got the final battle with the dog collar match too, which they don't do on Blu-ray for whatever reason. They do Ring of Honor on DVD.
Yeah,
fair. It's a tribute spot. They send one to Gabe. All right.
I should go order that right now.
Thank you for that question, Kartik. We appreciate your support.
I'll say too, real quick.
Yes, mate.
Real quick on Revolution. I think for every because I was in the building for that match for that show as well. I feel like if you were in the building for that match, I feel like it's like it was a different kind of energy. I know All In's probably going to be great. It'll have its own very special energy as well. But I feel like just with everything that entailed, Sting's retirement, it's I don't know, it's just beautiful. It's
the whole night felt special.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
That building is special. Yeah, it's a great show. Absolutely. Yeah, I completely buy it too, that being in the building, it sounded in a way that doesn't come across on, because I felt that way after Wembley. Like, I watched it and I had a lot. What's up?
It's out of stock already.
Oh,
For real?
Yeah.
Probably my fault for doing the tweet earlier. The Shermanator, hoping Mox skips Wembley to do Sammy Callahan's silly shoot fight show Saturday instead, real graps, etc.
seems likely.
Look, folks, maybe Mox is going to come back and be awesome. Let's be hopeful. Let's think positively, right? Dukes is nodding. Look at Dukes. You don't know, man. If John Moxley wants to be, he can just flip a switch and be one of the top guys in that whole promotion.
That actually is true, yes.
Yeah. Look at the track record. It speaks for itself. So, we'll see. We shall see. All right. Thank you for the super chat, the Shermanator. Up next, TBS World's title. It's definitely what it's called. Britt Baker, the Doctor. The bad. What did she call herself? The baddest bitch on the block? Is that what she called?
She's been calling herself that for a long time. Yeah.
You nailed that.
I laughed out loud.
Wow.
I didn't know that was a thing she just said. I had no clue. But she delivered it so like it was so played so straight. So I guess I should have known that was like a catchphrase. I don't know.
No, they've got an autographed Forbidden Door turnbuckle pad for $700.
There you go.
It's 25% off though right now.
There you go. Yeah, it's a good deal. Can't say no to that.
I'm buying 4 of them right now.
Mercedes Moné is going to wrestle Britt Baker. I think this has got to be the biggest gap between the floor and the ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Britt Baker has shown in the past an ability to, with the right opponent and the right setting, have good wrestling matches. She had a very memorable wrestling match with Thunder Rosa. I thought her match with Chrissy Statlander was tremendous. And I think their version of this match to be very good. I think if they brawl, if they do big, heavy, take big, crazy bumps, which both women have shown. I mean, Mercedes is one of the best bumpers in wrestling, and Britt is not. She'll do some crazy shit. So I'm hopeful about the positive version of this match. I equally think it's just as likely, however, that they try and have a match that will go quite poorly. So very, very torn on this. Obviously, I'm hoping it goes well. I think the finish, I think they'd be crazy to take the belt off Mercedes, but very intrigued what version of the match we get. Novi, what are you thinking?
You're spitting about the floor and ceiling with this match. The crowd's going to be really into it. We kind of saw that in Cardiff, that they're up to cheer and they're up to boo, these two. And Britt has shown on occasion, there was a while ago now, but she's shown that she can step up with that kind of energy in the building. If there's anyone to get it out of her, it's probably Mercedes, considering she's one of the best women's wrestlers in the whole world. I'd say maybe even wrestlers. But I worry that she's going to have a few big stadium ideas. She's going to try to make this match grander than I think Britt Baker might be able to make it. But I do think, I said that at least the crowd's going to be hot, and I think that kind of raises the floor a bit. I'm not so sure it'll reach it, and I think they'd be, I don't know, I'd probably turn off the show if they gave it to DMD, I'm afraid, because, I don't know, that'd be nuts. They're not going to do that, but
I think so.
Yeah. I also wonder, too, I'm sure there was a mention, but I feel like this maybe could be a place for Hayter. Maybe. There's been, some talk that maybe she's not too keen on one half of this match, but it could happen. It could happen.
I think it could. I think what Jamie's actually going to do, and I'll quickly go to our friend Jay Blood, who said, hate to ask a sincere wrestling question. This is super chat, by the way. He says, but predictions for surprise appearances and how those appearances will play out. To that point, I think Jamie is going to do a different thing. I think Saraya is going to hijack the show and be like, I'm not leaving until I get my Wembley. This is where I won the title. I'm a hero here. And the crowd will, and then of course you get Jamie's music. He comes down, beats up Saraya. I think that'd be a cool moment, right? I think Jamie.
That would be cool.
I was saying this earlier. I don't want to sound dramatic, but I hope you understand what I mean when I say I'm going to be kind of alarmed if we don't see Jamie on Sunday, to be completely honest. It's been a really long time. I hope, we've heard so little. We heard a couple positive things like a couple months back, right?
Yeah.
Like if she's close, it feels like you get something at Wembley, right? Like, good Lord, man. It's such a shame she missed last year, let alone missing this year. So I think Jamie may do that. I absolutely think there's a fair point to be made, though. Novi, you said it. I mean, Camille with Mercedes, it kind of makes sense, right? Within the story that you've got here. So
Could do
on
the
screen,
tag,
on screen,
maybe.
Britt and Jamie never had any kind of, they didn't splinter after all, did they? Stayed together. So yeah, we'll circle back to this, but yeah, interesting one for sure. Dukes, what do you make of this Mercedes Britt match?
I think it has a chance to be good. I think it has probably a higher chance to not be good for the reasons that Novi stated. I don't know if Britt has the facilities to swim in that deep water when we get into the later third of the match. I'll put it that way.
All right.
It'd be nice.
That was very polite. Very well done.
I'm working on it.
Good for you. All right. Kaden?
Yeah, I think this might end up being very shambolic, unfortunately. I do not have high hopes for this. I hope they end up having a very good professional wrestling match, but it is Britt Baker in the year 2024. I have not seen her have a good match in, I don't know, 2 years, maybe even 3. Yeah, I'd say 3. I'd say 2021. So yeah, 3 years. Look, the Young Bucks had a better match more recently than she did. Like, that's a problem. She needs to figure it out. I think Mercedes retains. I do not see a world where Britt Baker beats Mercedes Moné for the TBS title. I don't think we see Jamie Hayter. I think they're going to run it back a second match at some point, like maybe like Grand Slam, or they're doing the Dynamite anniversary in Pittsburgh. So I could see them like maybe running it back there and getting some heel heat on Mercedes. But yeah, I think Mercedes is retaining.
Hey, confirm shoot.
Yeah.
Did you see what young Kaden Lee tried to do there? Did you see the way he tried to maneuver? And he used Britt Baker DMD, and he thought, this is a wrestler that no one's going to jump to a defense. So I'm going to use this to prop up Matthew and Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah.
And he thinks we don't know who his sources are now. You know what I'm saying? You and I we didn't see that shit. Come on, dude.
Right.
Oh, fuck. Back in the olden days, we used to hide things like that, right? Anyway, I'm looking forward to about this MJF match in a second. So Matt, who you got in Britt and Mercedes, bro?
If Britt Baker wins this match, Warner Brothers Discovery should cancel the TV deal.
Immediately, just call up immediately.
Like, as for the match itself, if it's just fine, I'm going to be furious. I either want it to be good, or I want it to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, one extreme or the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the latter has got a real good chance of happening. My dream scenario is that Mercedes gets legitimately mad at some point during this match, which doesn't feel impossible.
Respect.
So, yeah. I don't know, man.
I like
one of these wrestlers probably shouldn't work there much longer.
Wonder which one. I like this pitch of them as opening the show. I think giving them a fresh crowd is very, very useful. Would be very powerful. Actually, as a call, I think it would help the match a lot. And I also think it makes a statement as to what we talked about earlier with the women's division's kind of increased importance on the show.
I liked the choice they made this week to make part of the build Britt Baker basically telling Mercedes that she was a sellout for signing with AEW. That was kind of beast. That was a good editorial choice to make. Definitely happened. Exactly what happened.
You're on fire tonight, brother. Let's go back to this. Any other surprises we were just like that kind of aren't already baked into the things we've talked about? So we discussed Jamie, we discussed Casino Gauntlet.
Shane McMahon.
Do we actually think Shane McMahon's showing up?
No.
I'm at 50-50.
50-50? Wow.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance.
What about
I
Big
think
Bob
it would
Lash, too? Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I think Bob Lasher is Chicago.
Yeah.
I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I think the Shane thing would be I mean, I know I've made it like a bit. I don't like Shane. I think it would be a like massive misstep. Like The kind of thing that you'd only realize the damage of like later, you know? Well,
I think there was
Maybe.
a chance.
I do too. I think that's possible. Most of the guys that get sent home from AEW don't actually have like. There's not actually a beef. They just stop getting flown on TV. It's so weird. Like, you know, I don't think it's irreparable. I just think it's a weird like standoff they're in. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. But anyway,
it was just framing that as a surprise was very funny to me. Not that it wasn't like possible. Just the fact that a guy that works for the company is like.
Nero would be crazy, bro. Keith Lee out of the frying pan.
Come on.
Who am I?
Do you imagine how I said, do you think any chance Daniel Garcia? I think Daniel Garcia is very possible. Yeah, I think Daniel is going to be back soon. And I think he could absolutely be MJF's out for putting over Will Ospreay. You know? I had him beat, and then young Daniel Garcia came in, and I could see that, definitely. We'll see. I think you'll see DG sooner than later, though. All right.
We didn't see it in the chat, but Powerhouse Hobbs could make a return. He's been teasing some
Powerhouse?
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He's been teasing a lot. Takeshita.
That would be
Of
cool.
book fame.
Takeshita's
I like
back, right?
Takeshita.
I'd like
Joe,
to
Joe, I pre-ordered his figure today.
Great figure.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Business has kind of picked up with their figures.
Good packaging too. Have you seen the packaging?
Yeah, man, it's cool. Did you see the? I tweeted a picture of the Sam Joe. I got the Sam Joe.
Yeah.
Did a good job with it. Actually, sometimes when you get them in hand, they look like shit. Their figures. That one looks really good.
Have you got your Briscoes figures yet?
No. Today I got sent a letter because I had to pay a customs charge.
What the fuck, man?
And this is funny, right? It wasn't a lot. It was like
I just kicked my desk and shook my head.
so it was probably like $15. And I went on to pay it. And these fuckers, I had to go 3 cards it took me for them to accept me. You know, and sometimes it just you can't, no matter what you do. And then I'll put the card back in and it's like, yeah, you've paid it. And the fuckers, while I'm at it. And the default setting is you pay an extra $20 to get it delivered tomorrow. No, I'm not doing. I'll just wait.
Yeah.
No, you're already making me pay money. It's been an ordeal. We're never doing that again.
No.
Never again.
I'm very mad about that too because I was excited to just start randomly sending you stuff. And now I'm just like, that bit is ruined. You ruined it.
Ruined it.
You're ruining it.
Thank you for the super chat, Jay Blood. Princess Diana, I pray one day Matt finds happiness in watching wrestling again.
That's the funniest part of this, and I think Joe can even confirm it. Like, I'm happier now than I've been in a long time with wrestling.
Yeah, you've just since we came back, you've made like your bit that you're like, I don't know. It's a very unique thing you're doing here. It's kind of layered, honestly.
That's why I think it's why I can get away with it because I think at the end of the day, most of the people know that I'm just fucking around.
We also don't watch any. You just AEW's your promotion.
Yeah, that's all I watch.
It's
I've
like
actually been like genuinely happy with AEW this year.
It's like how you know when like a very revered player leaves a sports team and everyone's like that's a big loss, and then the fans of the team are like he's fucking sucked for a year and he hasn't played any defense. He's been late. It's like you have a different. Like I think you were watching Rampage before you got here. I think the audience kind of goes, well. Shoots, you know, he's earned his right. Let him talk about the Young Bucks. All right. Did we all cover Britt and Mercedes, fellas? I'm sorry if I've missed anyone. We all covered it? Did we? Kaden, did you talk about it?
I did.
Okay, good. Novi, did you talk about it?
Yes.
We all talked about it, didn't we? Sure, you didn't talk about it, did you?
Yes, I did.
You did. You said you wanted it to be either bad or good. Yeah.
I said Britt shouldn't work for AEW much longer. Remember when I said that? You made a face.
It's finally time to talk about the big one. Matt, get your US flag out, brother. It's time. the most prestigious prize in all the sports, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, back in the UK after his classic with Michael Oku at York Hall. And here he is in all his glory. Wembley Stadium. He sold 50,000 tickets for this one. He is meeting young independent star Will Ospreay, who, of course, is currently battling a crisis regarding the Tiger Driver, a wrestling maneuver he a wrestling maneuver he performed on the man who is main eventing this show. In all seriousness, bits aside, the crowd's going to be great for this, aren't they? Like, seriously, you saw it in Cardiff. Think what you will of the build, and I think a lot of what you say would be fair. I do think there are elements that are real issues with it. I have a lot of concern about the Tiger Driver in this match. Actually, I really hope they don't overly lean on that. They're going to use it, but don't go back to what I'm saying. Like, just use it for some drama, but kind of be somewhat restrained. But they're
taking a big pause.
I think outside of Dragon being Dragon and coming out to Final Countdown, this is going to have the most heat on the show, I think. Like, I do think it's going to be hot in the building. So we'll see. Shoot, I'll go to you first on this. MJF and Will Ospreay, where do you stand on this one, brother?
I'm excited for this match. Everyone knows Max is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. Will Ospreay, I think, is pretty good as well. Look, I didn't hate the first match. I actually watched it. I liked a good deal of it. It was not, I think I've already said this on here, but it's not as good as some people have acted like it was, and it's certainly not as bad as some people have acted like it was. I think this match will be better. Ospreay, like you said, if that Cardiff crowd was any indication, and we saw it last year, and it'll be even more so this year because this is his promotion now. And again, as I've said all along, Wembley should be where Will Ospreay wins the title. This is not what I had in mind, but I think this will be really good.
Yeah.
I guess this probably isn't the match for it, but I'm ready for Max to start figuring out what his match is and working his match and getting really good at his match. I think Max is actually a really good worker. I just, I'm ready for him to find his identity as a wrestler and not just working the match.
He definitely shows flashes too.
He does, yes.
Yeah.
And then look, Will Ospreay's Adrian's favorite wrestler now. I just spent money on Will Ospreay merchandise while we were doing this show for my wife. So this will be a cool moment for her to see this for him. So I don't know. I'm hoping, it sucks that Will's not going to win the title till 2026 now because All In's not in England next year. And we got to wait. And, everything in wrestling's got to be a huge build. It was too soon for him to win the title or some bullshit. So, but this will be really fun.
I agree. I think it will be.
I've said this will be really fun a lot tonight, but that really is how I feel. I can't wait for this show.
I think the show's going to be spectacular. Tiger Driver wise, I think you eliminate any of the kind of theater of this. I think Max should hit the Tiger Driver on Ospreay, right?
Yeah.
Because then you pull the Band-Aid off, and then when Will actually hooks him, just gives a look to the people and I think the place will actually explode for that. Because
he's winning with that move, right?
This is the thing. If he hits the move and it's just one of the false finishes, it will be because why bother, right? I think it's been a dumb story, but you've told the story at this point. You did a whole vignette about Masawa, and I mean, come on. I think that's one of this match's biggest challenges. The two things I would circle, the Tiger Driver, and the biggest thing is the pace. The way they've done this build, especially this last stretch of it, they cannot have this sort of showy filling out process. This has to be. There has to be urgency here at the bell. Will Ospreay took a fine to hit Max on Wednesday. So that needs to be a present in the match. We shall see, Dukes. What do you think?
I got to get quicker at that. I think the match will be good. Everything that frustrates me about MJF is not his in-ring. I just think that all of his 15-minute segments could be 5 minutes, and they'd be much better. But yeah, this match should be good. Acting school does bother me, but I think with what you just laid out, it could be really good.
For sure. Yeah, this is I think this is very likely to be the consensus pick for the people leaving the building, if you were to poll them what's the best match of the night, I think this is most likely to be the consensus pick. I think Wembley will actually love this match. I could see it irritating me slightly, but I think the house will love it, whatever that's worth. Novi, what do you think?
I think this is like, I think we have to kind of start at like the 60-minute. I didn't love that match. I didn't think it was the worst match of all time. I'm kind of in agreement with Shoot over there. But then we go to the build, right? And they're building this match, and they're in North Carolina and South Carolina. I was at both those shows. They were all gonna chant USA. That's just gonna happen. I don't know what you're kind of looking for there. But then they, we get through all that. We get through the kind of awkwardness of it all. We have the Kyle Fletcher match, which I thought was actually pretty good. And then they go to Cardiff, and Cardiff really likes Will Ospreay, and I think England's gonna like him even more. So I think this is gonna be like really, really heated, like you said. I think it's gonna carry like a lot of weight. When you said like people are gonna walk out the building and they're gonna say this is their favorite match, I think it's because it's gonna be so hot. Their crowd is they're gonna boo the hell out of MJF. Like, we can say what we want about this silly little, like, the Ben Shapiro lines, all that good stuff. But
Bob loved those.
Yeah, I heard him from over here.
He's
Actually.
draped in his flag.
Yeah.
The MJF branded flag.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just the heat will be so good, and I think it'll be significantly better than the 60-minute match because they're not gonna go 60 minutes, and I think, like you said, they're gonna go hopefully fast out of the gate. I think they're gonna do a lot of big stuff, and MJF has always been like pretty good in the ring. I kind of agree. I wish you would find his place in there, but you're in there with Will Ospreay. I think it's gonna be a pretty damn good match.
Hey, Kaden, what do you reckon?
I think this build has been really bad. Everything about it. Granted, I did not watch the match. I've not seen their first match. I was playing video games. I was not bothered. I had heard it was going to go that long, and I was like, I am not watching.
Imagine not watching that match, bro. Come on. Seriously. It's just, as a professional, come on.
Joe, I'm very happy with my decision. I spent my time doing other things, and I do not regret anything. But everything else has been pretty bad to me. I don't love I like the first 2 weeks that he was doing when he was like when he beat up Daniel Garcia. I thought that was like good heel work. And then he went to the USA gimmick and doing the stuff with that Meltzer promo he had and talking about like the cage match ratings. It made no sense to me. And Will also leaned a little bit too much into that in Cardiff. Again, I don't like the conversations. It's too meta and leaving the realm of pro wrestling. It's just not my taste. And yeah, I am interested in what they're going to do. I think it'll be better whenever they have a constrained time limit and they're going to have the UK crowd to build off of really well at Wembley Stadium. I think it'll be pretty good overall. I think it's going to also irritate me. I think it's going to irritate me way more. It's going to irritate you, Joe. I think I'm going to end up not liking this as much as other people.
Well,
it'll be fun.
You've shown what side you're on when it comes to sources and such, didn't you? So I mean, here's what it is. Yeah, I think Matt and I saw that coming, right? Like we kind of aware of who hates on our boy Max, right? Shoot.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. I personally, I've always
put the notice on screen.
Yeah, absolutely right. Definitely noticed that the whole time. How long has it been up? How long has it been there?
Almost the whole time that we've been talking about this match.
No, do you know what? Bits aside, I actually think I think there's a lot of fair points there. That's the inside baseball stuff is, yeah. It's not, some of it isn't inside baseball. It's just, I don't know if it's what they should necessarily be mad about. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
some of it, I genuinely did think Max's stuff on Wednesday. I didn't think it was like overly inside baseball. I think Will was actually more that way on Wednesday. Now, some of the prior promos, yes, you're correct. Like the Meltzer one, completely. I agree. I guess the real argument is it inside baseball, or should these two be debating this when they've actually got such a personal vendetta? I don't know.
It's a dumb way to build a match.
But for the people, I don't know.
Hey, look,
I don't know.
man.
It's tough.
I'm a human being. I think it's a dumb way to go about it, but at the same time, I agreed with half the shit Will said on Wednesday, so it all popped me. I don't know,
yeah.
I was like, this is a dumb thing to do, but yeah, he's spitting.
Cardiff was fucking. It was lively, dude, for that deal, wasn't it? That was like, it did feel like a really big deal. We'll see. We'll see how all this stuff translates. I don't know. I've said it before. Like, I think the US bit is like kind of. I think there's a lot of evidence, or there's an argument to be made, I should say, that like the US stuff is kind of beneath what Max is capable of at this point. But I also think it's probably going to really work. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. We have some super chats. Ross Kemp says, Will Ospreay, all of England is behind you. We never dare our number 10, which is tremendous stuff. Did you see my Ross Kemp today with the Lexi Vague tweet? Did you see that?
Yes.
Believe in yourselves. Thank you for the super chat, Ross. Meech, Joe, sorry about your dog. Oh, fucking asshole. New Tope and new Kris are doing great. Going to bed, leaving TV on so Matt can mess with Alexa.
Alexa, blow up house.
There's a famed command there. Good call.
I forgot about that. That was one of the funniest things that I've ever done on here.
Yeah, that was cool. Very, very cool. Bobby Kennedy. Had to drop after Jesse turned down my EP role. Flying out to London tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing fellow. Yep, wrestle to clear the mind. There it is. All right. Thank you for that. Kartik, super chat. Once again, we appreciate you. He says the best stories are notoriously ones where you live vicariously through faces fighting to restore the feeling. Wrestlers fighting for the soul of AEW makes the characters caricatures. I do think there is a real issue with the emphasis on like trying to represent like when the promotion was good.
Yeah, it's probably about time to stop doing that.
Yeah, but I also fear the ship has sailed where it's now so normalized within the like online way rest, because you see it elsewhere sometimes too, right? Because everyone reads the.
I didn't hate it at first. Like I thought Restore the Feeling was not a bad idea at first, but
poor old Danny.
Yeah, it's time. It's time for it to end.
See, this is the problem with people doing the bits. I'm pretty sure this is Walker Stewart, like shoot Walker Stewart.
Yeah.
And he said, my all-in prediction is that it will be in Wembley Way, which is the kind of, that feels like a Walker Stewart bit. You know, I can see him saying it with that wonderful voice. But there's been so many ridiculous characters in the chat that it could just be a fake Walker Stewart.
Right.
Can someone click on the channel and see if it's Walker Stewart? Because I love Walker Stewart. And I always say his name in full, as you'll notice. This is shoot Walker Stewart, but please don't shoot Walker Stewart. Which, again, feels like saying he would say. I love Walker Stewart. He should be, we'll have to get him back soon on the Grin. And when next time he's on, we need to do it in this kind of... Because now that we've got the novelty of us just sharing the screen, now we need to have the whole crew on, right? We'll talk shop.
This is what's great about the... Never mind. I was going to say this is what's great about the late night Grin chat, and then that comment came up, and that just felt like poor timing.
Yeah.
But, you know, where else can you see Walker Stewart talking to Princess Diana? Like...
Thank you for this, by the way, Kartik. We appreciate you.
There are 4 matches on the card that have that story.
Yeah. They can't all be winners. Tone Storm, Mary May. This is for the AEW World's title. This is the best build on the whole professional wrestling show, I think. And this has been building for what? Nearly a year, right? 8 months?
8 or
9
9
months? This is Walker Stewart, isn't it? It is him.
Thank you.
I love it.
It's him. I checked the channel. It has his commentary highlight reel on it.
Everyone go and subscribe to Walker Stewart. He's the best. The absolute best. We had such a great time with that interview. It's also the easiest stream ever because Walker Stewart is an absolute machine. I'd ask him a question and he'd give me like an answer miles better than the question I had asked him. So everyone goes for. And also, congratulations to Walker on his G1, where he got rave reviews. Did you see the response to Walker's G1 performance, dude?
I have, yes. Well
Rave
deserved.
reviews. So shout out to the big man. This has got the best build on the show. Obviously, a big time angle after the Owen final where Mariah and the blood and everything, and that was great. And I think there is definitely at times they've struggled to escalate beyond that, right? Like I think this week was a good example of the angle was kind of just running in place. But they've done so much good stuff. It's hard to criticize it. Matt, what was you going to say?
I'm really excited for this match, and I want to be careful because this is not a. I was very thrown on Wednesday by how little reaction Mariah got.
Okay, good.
I hope that's not. Okay. I hope that's not an indicator of what's going to happen. I don't think it is, but like I hope we haven't been overestimating like what's going to happen on Sunday, because that was like stunning. She didn't get much of a reaction at all. I was like, I was very confused. The build for this match has been awesome. I think the match is going to be great. I've been very impressed with Mariah. I mean, I've talked about it over and over on here. Toni can be inconsistent, but I think she's going to be great here. Obviously, they're going to be very motivated. I'm actually I'm not 100% sure Mariah's going to win.
Nor am I. Yeah, I'm not either. And partly because of what you just said, I think there's something to that. Yeah. Yeah,
I think she should, but I'm not 100% convinced she's going to. I'm also fascinated. I hadn't even crossed my mind, but Adrian recently declared to me that this timeless thing has jumped the shark and it's time for it to end. I did not see that coming at all. I don't know. I would imagine she's in the minority there. I know people felt that way a while ago, but I feel like she kind of turned that around. I definitely felt that way at one point, but she saved it and took it to another level, honestly.
I think she's been great.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to this. I do think there was a time when I think this could have main evented the show. I'm not sure we're still there, especially with, the situation we've got in play with Danielson. But it still is probably very possible that they could have done it. I really hope Mariah wins. I'm
kind of feels like she should, as you said.
Yeah, I'm all but I'm all in on her. I think she's like the centerpiece of the women's division long term. I think they should build the thing around her and make her their signature star for the women's division. I really do.
I got Willow.
Fair. Probably those two. You're right. I'm really looking forward to this. I hope they knock it out of the park.
Yeah, I'm confident it will be good. The big question to me is, can it be great? They need blood.
Yes.
They need violence.
There has to be. Honestly, if there's not blood, that's a problem.
Yeah, and I will say, I didn't want to bring it up, but you went there. I agree. The crowd on Wednesday was just one crowd. It did make me kind of. I hope the crowd for this is where we hoped it would be a month ago. That's all I'm going to say. Stadium shows a unique beast in that regard. Hopefully, it's rocking. Hopefully, they bring the violence and they have a great match, because I think that's what they deserve after all the efforts they've put into the build. I do kind of wonder if Mariah, I do kind of wonder if Mariah is we overestimate her as an attraction as a singles right now. Yeah. I wonder. I guess we'll find out on Sunday. It is in London, which should help, but very interesting. I'm going to actually pick Toni Storm, I think. Kind of hesitantly. I just think Toni Khan sees Toni Storm as one of his biggest stars, and I don't know. Kaden, what do you think?
I'm very glad I'm not alone in that, because I am also picking Toni Storm. I had a conversation with Novi about this on Wednesday, and I have a feeling over the last few days that I think they're going to retain here and keep the belt on Toni, at least for the foreseeable future. A few things that immediately come to mind that help me sway that way is Tony Khan has this booking thing he likes to do where he doesn't typically give someone a title on their first shot. He likes to do your second or third. And there's been instances like Saraya last year where she did win on her first shot, but I don't think that was originally planned. I think that was like a very like last minute decision for her to win. And yeah, like knowing how Toni does, I think he's going to save Mariah to win later this year or maybe like sometime next year so she can have a few more feuds, get some wins under her, which I honestly, I think she does need. She's been in the company for less than a year. I would hold out just a little bit longer, especially because she's not getting, I've noticed it, she's not getting the reactions that maybe you'd want to see on TV. I also, part of me also thinks like they might be wanting to have Jamie Hayter be the one to beat Toni since that's how Toni won the title in the first place last year.
It's interesting. How long has Toni been the champ?
Since May of 2023. No, wait, no, sorry. No, she lost out like twice. She beat Sheeta. Was it Full Gear when she beat Sheeta?
That's a long time ago, dude. That's back in the olden days.
Yeah. I think
I don't know.
I worry about Mariah long term if she loses here.
Feels like she should win.
Yeah.
I'm
not sure she's going to, but I just worry that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Novi, where do you stand on this?
I think this match is going to be incredible. I have really high hopes for it. I'm hesitant to say that this build is like one of my favorites in AEW history because I don't think Toni's output during like the first half of it was very good. But then Azumi like knocked the Hooper back into her, and I think she really took it a step above after that match, and I think she's been fantastic this year ever since then. I'm also kind of in agreement with Shoot. I think I would understand Toni winning because I do speak on Kaden's point where they would want to run back the match with Jamie. I think that'd be a decent shout to do it. I think giving Jamie the belt right after she comes back is not a bad idea, but I think you have a young star in Mariah. She's been incredible on TV. She's really made something of herself and kind of proved that she belongs in a spot like that. I think one of the best choices you can make with a young talent like that, that's in a position that she's in, is to just kind of give her the ball and see what she can do with it. Like, Sheeta is about to, she's doing some stuff. Maybe she can run one with Sheeta. She can run one with a lot of different wrestlers in there. I think she can have great matches with. If she's given the time, like on a big pay-per-view, to give an extended match, because she hasn't had too many like long ones, but they've all been like heaters. I specifically remember back to the one versus Aminata, which was like genuinely incredible. I thought, and I feel like that's a good example to me where it's like I think she can kind of elevate the title even further, especially like this story's been building for, like you said, 8 or 9 months. I think paying it off now and kind of justifying and saying, okay, Mariah, she did the big angle with the heel. She made Toni bleed everywhere. I think making that make sense and making it be like, okay, now she's arrived. She's here. And there's going to be a lot of people challenging for her. There's going to be a lot of people coming for her, but it's up to her to kind of like be on top and prove she can stay there. I also agree that if like both of them don't coast to coast in this match, it'd be doing the build a disservice because it deserves it. Like it's been that good.
I also think, again, I just get the impression that Toni Storm also sees this as an accomplishment for herself to get Mariah May to where she is right now. Not that Toni deserves all the credit for it, but you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like
a big part of it.
Not to you, but I just feel like Toni's going to want to finish that story. Like, she's going to want to, you know what I mean? Like, that's what pro wrestling is. And I know not all wrestlers think that way, and I don't know her. Maybe she doesn't think that way. But I've listening to her talk in the past, I've gotten the impression that she does think that way. And that her getting this into a situation where they can crown Mariah May, she would see that as a win for herself, which is how it should be.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I'd also say
very sentimental.
I'd also say there's like not much left to do with her as champ. I think there's a lot more interesting stuff with Mariah. I think she's been champ for a long time, you know, like you guys said, and I feel like transitioning and doing something fresh, doing something exciting, having a young star at the top is really important right now. There's been a lot of conversation. Can AEW make young stars? And I feel like them kind of putting their faith in one of Mariah's caliber, I think is a good bet to make.
It's an opportunity for Toni too to kind of reinvent her, to lose here and kind of
exactly.
She can kind of reinvent herself, whether she wants to keep doing the timeless thing or she wants to modify it, or she, you know what I mean? Like, it gives her an opportunity to step away, take this big loss, and then kind of reinvent herself, which she seems very capable of doing. So
For sure. Dukes, anything to add on Mariah and Toni?
I'm gonna go with Mariah. I think it's the much more interesting option. You kind of have the Mina thing baked in already. They can do it all out. And I think with Toni, if she like loses to Mariah and you want her to kind of reinvent herself, I think having her lose to Mariah and then lose another match like in like right after, maybe to a returning Jamie Hayter,
Maybe.
to kind of set her off, someone who beat her for the title the first time. I think there's more interesting ways to go with Mariah being champ after All In.
Yeah.
I think there is something to the idea of immediately following this up with Mariah beating Mina soundly and viciously. Not necessarily fair to Mina to put her in that spot, but that's the game we play. Like,
Some must die, so others can live,
Right.
bro. I mean, it is what it
like
is.
having doing that match at All Out and having Mariah just beat her viciously would be
It kind of,
pretty big deal.
it kind of, reiterates your reset with her. Yeah, I agree.
I think it cements her in a lot of ways too. Like, I think Mina's becoming someone on AEW. I think she's getting like a lot of real support. Not like the crowds are chanting all the time or anything like that, but I think a lot of people like her. And you
She got a big
cement.
reaction on Rampage tonight. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the eSportatorium, so of course you did, but still,
Everybody does over there,
Yeah.
but I feel like cementing Mariah May is like, she's vicious, she's a heel, she's gonna continue to be vicious like she was with Toni against anyone. Like, we know Mina's her friend, but she's gonna beat her down because she wants to hold that belt. I think that's a good way to go about it.
Yes, indeed. All right. It's main event time, folks, as we get into Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland. Please like the video and things of that nature. Here we go. The final countdown. Title versus career. Dragon on Wednesday, of course, with the big fired up promo that people have been waiting for. And they kind of worked all of these narratives. And I think it was always the story, but they really emphasized it right this week because Swerve actively was talking about Bryan's kind of temperament. And Dragon cut the big fired up promo, and it was a great promo. And I think for most people kind of erased any doubt that this was the right call. Novi may disagree with that. We'll get there. But I'm very, very excited. This is a spectacle and occasion that's kind of my main hook for Wembley, to be honest, beyond just being at the show. I want to see Dragon wrestle at Wembley Stadium. I want to see the final countdown, and I want to see him become the world's champion. I think I'm going to see all of those things. And it feels like this match, with the drama and the emotion, the ceiling for this match is the best pay-per-view main event in the history of the company, right? I mean, Swerve Strickland is in great form. Bryan Danielson is the greatest wrestler I've ever seen, and they have a title versus career thing to play with at Wembley Stadium. I mean, this could be something else. So, very, very exciting. Dukes, what do you reckon?
Bryan needs to win. It's not even like I love Swerve and I love Hangman. And at first I thought this should have been his spot, but after one backstage promo from Bryan, I was in, and I figured there's other things I could be mad at.
Yeah.
And I've detached myself from actually caring about Hangman's booking a long time ago. So Bryan Danielson, final countdown, fireworks, everything, things of that nature.
For sure. There's going to be some incredible false finishes in this match.
Oh, yeah.
Swerve, that really, what's the move called where he hits the kick from the house call? There's going to be some gnarly house calls. My only concern with this match is a sincere hope the Dragon gets through it, because I think everyone overestimates sometimes how much he's working when he talks about how physically beat he is right now. I don't think he's got long left in terms of before he heads off for this surgery. Hopefully he gets through it. That's the only thing I have to say that's not glowing praise and excitement, and that's just a part of the game. So very, very excited. Novi, now's your time. We'll give you some time to do this, and then we'll tell you you're wrong. Please proceed with this cowboy propaganda bullshit.
Look, There's got to be someone that says differently on one of these shows, so I'm going to be the person to do it.
Doesn't have
I'm
to be.
still there will be though. I'm still very attached to Hangman. I think, look, I love Bryan Danielson. I think he's the greatest wrestler to ever wrestle. I was doing, my thing earlier, but I think he is genuinely fantastic, and I think the moment is going to be great. Like I'm gonna be popping huge when he wins to Final Countdown. I know it. But this is Bryan Danielson's 5th challenge for this belt, and I feel like at a point in time, you kind of missed it because he had that match versus Mox at Grand Slam where I thought that was the moment. That was the perfect time to do it. And then we get here and we're kind of teasing the Hangman Swerve 4, which I think would have been so big in a stadium like this, in an environment like this. But they kind of moved ahead, and I get it. Danielson is going to retire like from full-time wrestling, and he's fucked. He's got to do his thing. But I think putting Hangman to the side again, which isn't the first time they've done it, is really, really unfortunate. Because that story is, in my opinion, one of the best stories AEW has ever told. I think it defines the promotion in a lot of ways. And setting it aside in a setting like this, I think it's doing it a disservice. And look, it's really tough too, because I know like he's probably doing a thing, and he's probably like selling it in his interviews and stuff. But I can't lie, it's been like kind of making me a little upset because it translated to TV in a lot of ways, where it felt like Danielson just like didn't really care much about this match, or at least like that's how it made me feel. It felt like he wasn't going to give his all to this match. He was win or lose, it's whatever. I gotta go home. I gotta do this and that. And in a lot of ways, that's his reality. I know that. We all know his neck is fucked up. But this is a match in front of 50,000 people at Wembley Stadium in AEW's biggest show by far. I feel like you have to sell it as though Bryan Danielson is desperate to keep going, that he is going to hold on to anything he's got left, in the tank. He's going to put it out on this, and he's going to put it out against Swerve. And I think they did a good job of like getting that over in Cardiff. But even that, I think it kind of like stung a little bit more, because that was the version of Danielson I feel like we should have gotten this entire time. I want a defiant, fucked up veteran just trying to get his last ride, trying to get his moment in AEW, and finally winning the belt that, we all know he doesn't want, but you can sell it as though he wants it. So there's a lot of things about this build that I just like haven't set right with me. Like I said, I'm still going to be really excited to see Danielson win. It's Bryan Danielson. It's Final Countdown. It's in front of 50,000. That's great. But I think the moment in Cardiff, like his promo, which was fantastic, is going to like kind of make people do a lot of revisionist history about what this build has been, because I don't think it's been very good over the entire course of it. But the last moment was so good right before Wembley that I think people are going to kind of forget about all that. And I don't think they should. So I'm excited for the match. I think it's like ceiling is genuinely match of the year. Like handedly, these are two incredible wrestlers. Swerve has made himself feel like the biggest deal in the company by far. He's made himself feel like a real champion. He's held that championship like it's the biggest prize in all of AEW, and I think it really has needed that. And we've had a like Joe into him. They both did that, and I think it's really important. So like we said earlier, Swerve is going to win this belt plenty of times, and I think the match is going to be fantastic. But the build has just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and that's why I feel the way I do.
Is it safe now, fellas?
Yeah.
It's okay. You can come out now.
I appreciate what you. I actually think there's a lot of truth to what you're saying. I do actually. I don't know if their approach to the build was necessarily the right one. To be fair, but I don't know, man. It just. I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can stand in opposition of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. I don't know. It feels unholy. It feels un-American.
It's a fascinating thing they did, and I'm not going to sit here and say I necessarily agree with it. But they basically spent a month building a narrative that what we're about to see is that Swerve fucked up majorly. Because the entire build was that Danielson wasn't all in on this, and he wasn't fully committed to it, and he was ready to retire. And now Swerve has made it personal, which is something that he does time and time again. And this time it's going to backfire on him. If Swerve had not made this personal, then he would have just beat him on merit because Danielson was not all in and he was not fully committed to this. And again, look, I'm not necessarily saying that this was the best route for them to go, but I think it's pretty clear that's what they were doing. And they didn't do it in a melodramatic, huge storytelling way where they stood and did 20-minute but it's been pretty clear that Danielson has been repeatedly getting over the fact that he's comfortable with retiring repeatedly.
Just what the Jarrett thing was about,
Jeff
right?
Jarrett, yes. Eddie Kingston, and what Swerve did was he kept pushing his buttons over and over again, and now he's made it personal, and he's fucked up. And that's the story they're telling. And honestly, if your long-term plan is to make Swerve a babyface, that's a good story to tell because Swerve needs to learn that the shit that he used to do is not the way that he should play the game anymore. So, this match, again, I do agree with you, Joe. There's always the concern with Danielson and his health. That's always going to be an issue. But this is going to be an incredible moment.
Yes.
It's going to be, I don't know. This is going to be special. This is what I watch pro wrestling for. It's not going to be to the level of the Sting moment because it can't be, but this is going to be the end of this show with his music playing and fireworks. And, I'm sure I would imagine we're going to see Bree and, his family and, someone in the chat said it. And I hope Nikki hits a fucking forearm on Prince Nana. And let's go, let's just do it, man. I'm ready for this.
I think Nigel's going to get on board by the end.
That's the fascinating thing too. I don't know, but I could see it, and that's going to be a moment for me too. If Nigel just, he can't take it anymore and he starts rooting for Danielson there at the end, that's going to be, I'm an old man. I'm probably going to cry. So that's what it's all about.
Factual. I love it. Kaden, what do you think?
Joe, I need to pull out receipts here. On June 6th, I sent a super chat to the Wrestle Purist AEW Dynamite review show saying, genuinely think Dragon is winning the title. Not only did you laugh at me, but Charlie and AO also laughed at me and called me an impressionable young Mark. And while I will not back down from the allegations, I think they are slightly true. I would like to say that I did predict this over 30 days before Danielson even beat Hangman.
That is pretty good. That is, I must admit. That's fair play. I don't remember
young
it.
Mark. God bless. Who actually said that?
AO
that sounds, yeah,
I was going to say, I didn't sound like Joe.
Joe
would only say that to Dukes.
I am really excited for this. I think a lot of people have been focusing on the Hangman stuff a little too much instead of trying to just appreciate what we did get, because that's what happened. And it is still a good story. I understand why people wanted Hangman, but I think when Danielson first said that he had hinted that All In was going to be his last match in December, because he had said the 3-year contract, and once I was done, I'm done. And he still has not signed a contract after. They kind of told us that Danielson was going to be the one in the main event, especially when they decided to do Ospreay and Swerve at Forbidden Door. I thought it was very telegraphed and what they were going with. And so honestly, it's been really annoying to see people still talking about the Hangman stuff, because we are now 2 days out. It's not happening. Get over it. It's
Get
done. Move on. Stop.
He told you to grow up, Novi.
You're going to fucking hate my video
what I'm
tomorrow.
saying. Grow up. It's wrestling. It does not matter. Stop it. But going to this is going to be an incredible match. The final countdown at Wembley Stadium. I cried when I heard it all out. I'm going to probably cry again when I see it from my couch on Sunday, when it's going to play when he wins. He holds up the title. His 2 kids in the ring. His wife is going to be there by his side.
They should play their music.
They should play our music. Bree Mode is going to be in full force on Sunday. I am genuinely very excited for this match. I have been for a while. I think it's going to be something special.
Yeah.
It might be it might not be the best AEW match ever, because we've had some fantastic matches, but in terms of the emotion and the stage, it's going to it's going to be special. It's going to be a truly special match. Like if like Roman and Cody never last year actually had the right winner and Cody went over, that's how this is going to feel.
I feel like in a lot of ways, AO was kind of spitting because I'm hearing a lot of dragon propaganda. I'm seeing a lot of dragon meat riding going on in this side of the screen.
Oh shit!
All this, look at all this, right? So we're sitting here, we're just talking matches. We're talking matches. I'm excited for the match, but I feel like it's fair to talk about, you know, the potential other option we could have had. I ended and I made very clear that I think the match is going to be very good and I'm very excited for it. Oh, we're doing okay. We're doing a little debate. Oh. Okay. I think the match is going to be very, very good, but I think it's fair to ask what the other side of it would have looked like, and I think it's fair to make points about it. They didn't talk. Yeah, no, this is a shoot.
I think it was fair within the 7 days of the decision happening on July 10th, but we are now 40-something days removed. We're 46 days removed, 44. I can't do math. I'm not a math major. We are very far removed from that match taking place between Hangman and Danielson. So why still talk about it? Like, what are you accomplishing at this point?
Because Hangman's still in the promotion. Hangman still works for them.
No, what are you hoping to do other than bring down your hype for the match?
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. I love the match. I think it's gonna be great. But we could have had an even better match.
This is like if like the day before WrestleMania 40, you're trying to tell people they should have done Roman versus The Rock.
But who would have said that though?
You're still thinking they should have done Roman versus The Rock.
But nobody wants to say that. That's not like a real alternative. This is a real alternative. They teased the alternative. That was the Owen finals. This could have happened.
No, it was never happened.
But it could have happened.
Danielson was always the plan.
Oh, just because you know things doesn't mean that it can't happen. We know backstage info.
If you paid attention to the programming, it tells you.
Hangman came back and said, "I'm gonna fucking kill that guy. I want him to go kill that guy."
TV. Swerve said he's winning the match on Sunday. He's not winning the match.
But I don't think that's the same thing. That's like a totally different thing.
He can say he has the intentions all he wants, but that never means that was the goal. There's no point. At this point in time, there is no reason for us to still be hung up on a match that's not happening, has not even been potentially like in the plans for 45 days. Like you're whining at this point. There's no reason. There is no goal here.
I think it'd be whining if I didn't say like, oh, the match is going to rule. I'm really excited to hear Final Countdown. I'm not doing that because I think that's weird. I think that's kind of like
before you
too
even
far.
Talked about the match, you started complaining that Hangman wasn't in there.
Because it was a viable alternative. It could have been the main event that I thought would have been better.
Yeah, it could have. It could have. If my mom had balls, she'd beat my dad.
Oh, you stole... That's a stolen joke That's a stolen joke from an English broadcast.
All right, can everyone calm down now? This is not Fightful, okay, guys? Can we just calm down? Jesus wept. All right.
The debate show was on WrestlePierce, I thought, but apparently it's right here.
That was incredible.
Wow. Kaden at one point said, "Wrestling's not that serious. Grow up," and then he followed it with, "I will burst into tears as this match gets," which I respected. That's either where he won or lost, depending on what side of the debate you were on. Wow. The game's changing, Matt. We would never. Remember when we had like a 30-second debate and then we just started to apologize to each other?
Yeah.
I don't know, folks. The game's changing. As you can see, Young Duke's LNG Dojo graduate, he doesn't know what to do with this. I don't either.
Just kept himself muted the whole time.
I'd have conceded like 30 seconds. I was gone, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But that's what happened when you get these young athletes in, you know, from the best in the world. You bring them in. This is the kind of action you get on the Late Night Grin. Only on the Late Night Grin, live every Friday night, and soon to be on LNG Gold. Okay. Let's do some plugs and promotions to get out because it's actually 6:22 a.m. All right. Dukes, do you have anything to plug, mate?
No. LNG Gold. That's it. I might do something on there.
You said no and then plug something.
Yeah.
Oh, layered.
I usually just
we
say
have
no.
Super Chat. I keep forgetting we have this fucking Bobby
Give us
Kennedy in an honest system. Hangman with main event.
If the
And
Libs
Bobby
didn't steal it.
Kennedy. My family wasn't a fan of my choices, but I had to stick up for my beliefs. You have my support, Novi.
I think that means I won.
Maybe. Thank you,
I didn't
Dukes.
ask for
Thank you to whoever
Tough
sent all
scene.
those very, very silly super chats. Novi, where can people find you on the YouTubes?
I make YouTube videos about Graps at Noviak. You can find it there. I recommend that Kaden Lee does not watch my video that I'm going to post tomorrow because he will not like it. And I'm assuming that a lot of you won't either, but, you know.
Anti-Dragon? Wow.
Not anti-Dragon, but very pro-cowboy.
Pro Hangman,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
More
Brainbusters.
questionable support for you, Novi.
Yeah. You're the wrong friends.
They do salutes over there, but
They
that's
do.
okay. We love the Graps.
Kind of uncomfortable. Yeah, we do. Shout out Grats Podcast. Well, I don't really, but shout out to Grats Podcast. All right, Kaden, tell the people where they can find you. Do you do those kind of hot debates elsewhere? Do you do those over on Fight Forward, Wrestle Purists?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Kaden, KADEN_FTW. On WrestlePurist.com, I'm working on a feature called 2024, the Year of the Dragon. That should be coming out before All In, hopefully tomorrow. And
But I'm the propagandist.
on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fightful Select, I'll be joining Rob and other people. I don't know who else is going to be on. We're doing an All In pre-show.
Wow. Okay. All right. Interesting, folks. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Caden's game. I don't know if you get that on every show he does or it's just a special occasion and he went for it. I don't know. So tune in with caution, but support those places and support Kaden. Confirm Shoot. Do you have anything to say, mate? I have an announcement to make afterwards, but do you have anything to say?
LNG Gold Tuesday. Give us your money. We'll make it worth your while probably. And if we don't, just give it to us anyway. There's some tiers and stuff. I don't know all about it. I didn't pay attention, but
Yes. And speaking of LNG Gold, on Monday night, we'll go live around. When does Raw end? Eastern?
11.
like
11?
1 a.m. I think.
11 Eastern, we'll go live. Truly late night Grin on a non-Friday. And we will do an LNG Gold launch party that will also kind of be an all-in review very loosely. So what we're going to do is kind of our equivalent of cutting the ribbon outside a new store. At midnight, I will hit turn on to the memberships and we'll be live for that. So it'll be kind of a fun deal. We'll talk all in and all that good stuff. So that will be on Monday night. Tuesday night, it is, of course, the most controversial Grin Grappler episode in the history of Late Night Grin as we set the stage for the eventual Shane McMahon sequel with Grin Grappler Alexa Bliss, which will be incredible, no doubt. The Iconics finally make their debut in the Grin Grappler series, as do the team of Fire and Desire, who make 2 appearances on the program. Can't wait for that on Tuesday. Next Friday will be Bash in Berlin preview in the same time slot as per usual. So this has been the Late Night Grin.
What's the first
Yeah.
LNG Gold show, Joe? When's that?
The first LNG Gold show, mate, officially is a Bash in Berlin Grin Along, which should be very exciting, right? Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton and Gunther, CM Punk and Drew Mack. But I think there may be room for something more impromptu regarding Dynamite. We'll see how the turnout is, right? We'll see if the LNG Gold blows up. Maybe we'll treat folks to an early party. We'll see. But yes, Bash in Berlin will be the first official show. So this has been Late Night Grin 123.
Good God.
Please enjoy AEW All In. If you're watching it, I guess. I think it'll be a very good time, and we will see you all on Monday. All right, support the folks on the screen. Keep grinning. Like the video. Also, leave a comment below of what side you were on in the big debate. Right? That's what makes sense. Leave a comment below. That helps us out. So keep grinning. And most importantly, enjoy this wonderful new outro. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.